I'm your man, Louie Tee, and this is Louie Tee Live. Louie Tee. Welcome to Louie Tee Live as I continue to motor through every single division in the National Football League and talk about the season upcoming in 2016 and the predictions for each and every single team in the division and how I think it's going to shake out and allow you, the viewer, the fan, to voice your opinion as well. Tonight's going to be a different episode because it's going to be rather light. And when I made the schedule up for this series and how I was going to break everything down, I was not aware that every single team in this division, yes, the NFC North, was going to be playing a preseason game on this Thursday night. So, in effect, the division that I'm breaking down, the NFC North, all four teams are in action tonight in some preseason football. So this was a very ill-timed video. And I don't expect a very heavy crowd tonight. As a matter of fact, I expect a light crowd. And so it's all good. As they say in show business, the show must go on. And so your man Louie Tee is still going to bless this program in this division. And what's going to end up happening is they'll just have to watch it on the playback. And so hopefully they'll be able to come check me out after they're finished watching their team perform tonight in preseason game numero deuce. And so before I get into all of the proceedings this evening talking NFC North football, gotta first tell you how you can reach the program if you are in fact out there watching. Several different ways. You can contact the show through the YouTube live stream, in the comment section, in the chat discussion. Just use the hashtag LouieTeeLive and I will read your comment on the air. If you're new to the channel, welcome, first and foremost, and subscribe to the channel for more great content in 2016 and beyond. And if you're on Twitter, @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. As you can see down low, all of my different social media platforms are down below. If you're on Twitter, @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. Please follow me on Twitter. And if you're going to comment on Twitter and you want your comment read here on the program, once again, hashtag LouieTeeLive, as you see down below on the scroll. Also, In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Like the page, share, and also, if you're commenting from there, also leave the hashtag LouieTeeLive. That being said, we're talking NFC North football, and this division was quite the surprise last year. Jordy Nelson goes down in the preseason, and it seems like that gave the Vikings the little opening that they needed to take advantage of a Packers team that was wounded and ripe for the picking. And that's exactly what the Vikings did, winning this division in Week 17 in Green Bay, no less, to take that division. And it was quite a surprise, and I think this is a Vikings team that a lot of people are high on. And so before we can get to the 2016 version of the NFC North, let's first take a look back at the 2015 version of the NFC North and how we got to this point in 2016 where we're looking at certain teams in this division as potential Super Bowl candidates. It's the division rewind of the NFC North. Take a look. NFC North.
Now we're division rewind. Now we're
NFC North.
Minnesota Vikings.
Resilience is a key trait for any champion. And in 2015, the Minnesota Vikings exemplified that word to its core. Ugly Week 1 loss at San Francisco, bounced back to win 2 straight. Close loss to the eventual Super Bowl champs on the road, win 5 straight. Get smashed at the crib by the bullies of the division, go on the road and win the next week. Take 2 straight on the chin versus the NFC West powers that be, win 3 straight to close out the regular season, with the last being a revenge road win versus the bullies of the North, in which you declare that you're the new bully, clinching the division with the win at 11-5. The drive in the playoffs was brief, but the experience was priceless. And now with the confidence and know-how, Zim Zimmer has the keys to his Beamer. And the destination on the GPS is set for Houston in 2016.
Green Bay Packers.
Exposure is great until you get exposed. Just ask the 2015 Green Bay Packers, who found out the hard way, starting the season off 6-0 going into the bye week. The mantra was simple: no Air Jordy, no problem. That was until it became a problem. Versus Denver in Week 8, when the Packers were exposed as a limited offense that had no deep threats and an inconsistent run game. The Denver D played tight man-to-man coverage, all the while keeping A-Rod in the pocket, and the league took notes on that fateful Sunday night as the Pack lost 4 out of 5, including 3 straight, to turn a 6-0 start into a 7-4 struggle for playoff contention. In typical Packers fashion, a 3-game winning streak silenced the naysayers, but 2 ugly losses to end the season at 10-6 cost them the division and fueled doubt going into the postseason. Somehow, the Packers ran through the Redskins and almost took down Arizona in the desert before bowing out. Now the Packers, with help in tow, set out to reclaim what they feel like was stolen from them in 2015 and even more in 2016.
Detroit Lions.
0-5 starts generally don't end well. Coaches usually get fired, players check out mentally, seasons are lost, especially after the whole sinks to 1-7 at the bye, with the final loss being a lopsided 35-point shellacking in London. Somehow, in a day and age where patience is a distant memory, the Lions exhibited that very patience, and it was rewarded as the Lions put together 2 different 3-game winning streaks and finished at 7-9 with some confidence. No heavens, the Megatron could spell trouble in 2016 or a new beginning as the Lions look to restore the roar in 2016.
Chicago Bears.
The hallmark of a John Fox coached team is grittiness and competitiveness, something the Bears showed in Week 1 of the 2015 season, but failed to display in Weeks 2 and 3 in blowout losses that found the Bears at 0-3 to start the season. 2 straight gritty wins versus AFC West teams got the Bears to 2-3 with a shot at 500. However, the Bears fell in a close loss to the Lions, a fate they would suffer the 2 other times they were a game within 500 on the season. Ultimately, the Bears finished 6-10 with a strong offseason and reinforcements on the way. A huge leap may be on the horizon for the Bears in 2016. So that's the NFC North in 2015. Wild and wacky division. A lot has transpired in this division since the end of the regular season last year. Vikings won this division. Jordy Nelson is back and healthy. The Bears are a different team. A lot of moves in the offseason to really strengthen this team and give them an opportunity to compete in this division in 2016. Lions, no more heavens to Megatron. That's a huge development. Didn't really know if he was serious about retiring, and whoop, oh, he's gone. So this is a different team in Detroit in 2016. So how are they going to cope with the loss? Are they going to be a better team? Remember, 2 years ago when he was banged up, they went to the playoffs and gave the Cowboys a run for their money, and Golden Tate was the catalyst for that football team offensively that year, over 1,000 yards, and was one of the biggest surprises in the league that year. So are they going to get back to that team, or are they going to be a team that is going to be void of a number 1 target in Calvin Johnson, and all of a sudden teams are starting to really come up and pressure the Detroit Lions? So we'll see what happens with that team offensively as we get into 2016. Now, I want to take a look at this division this season upcoming and talk about what I think is going to happen with these teams. You know how I like to do. Give you my analysis of this division team by team, give you their records, and then turn the floor over to you all out there watching, and you guys will give me your opinions as to what you think is going to occur in this division. So we'll start at the bottom, as is customary. Chicago Bears. And this is a team that John Fox, man, it usually doesn't take John that long to turn a program around. We saw him do it in Carolina. We saw him do it in Denver. And he's a winner, man. Wherever he goes, usually winning follows. But there was a common theme when he was winning in those different locations, and that was solid quarterback play. Even Jake Delhomme was good under John Fox, even though he would sling it around and he could turn it over in an instant. And Jake Delhomme had some really big years in Carolina. Peyton Manning, what else do I need to say? What more can I say? Hell, even Tim Tebow got it done for John Fox in Denver. So that's the difference here in Chicago, is that you got Jay Cutler. And Jay Cutler is a loser, a perennial loser at that. I don't know if Jay Cutler has ever experienced winning in his career. I don't know if Jay Cutler has ever been to the postseason. Don't quote me on that. He's probably been once or twice, but I can't remember him going. Jay Cutler isn't a winning quarterback. And even the years where the Bears went 10-6, I think they still missed the postseason with Jay Cutler at quarterback. It's just fact. Jay Cutler is not a winning quarterback in this league. That said, he played well last year, but it was under Adam Gase. I looked at this roster last year. I'm going to be truthful. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Last year, the Bears had the worst roster, talent-wise, in all of the National Football League. That includes the Cleveland Browns, okay? This was the worst roster, top to bottom, in the league. Yet, they still managed to squeeze 6 victories out of their schedule. And you know why? Because they had one of the best coaching staffs in all of the National Football League last year. John Fox, hell of a coach, doesn't get the credit that he deserves. I looked at Adam Gase and I said future head coach, and look where he is now, head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And I also looked at their defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, and I said another guy that could easily have been a head coach in this league and probably should be a head coach at some point and will be. Another guy that did wonders with what he had on defense. Adam Gase, I thought, took Jay Cutler and turned him into a bona fide starter in this league, a guy that you could actually win football games with. They just weren't good enough around him. That being said, no more Adam Gase. Don't know how that's going to affect this Bears team. I think it's going to have an adverse effect. I look at this defense. They look like they've gotten much better. You get Kevin White now. Essentially 2 first-round picks this year, because your first-round pick from last year, Kevin White, didn't play. So you're essentially getting 2 first-round picks now with him and Leonard Floyd in the mix. And so it looks like they're starting to get all the pieces that they need to compete. I'm just not sure about Jay Cutler, man. As much as I want to get excited and I say, man, John Fox is a winner. And I don't go against winners. Generally speaking, I tend to side with winners because game recognized game, and damn, John Fox is looking familiar. But this is Jay Cutler. This is the NFC North. And oh, by the way, the Vikings aren't playing around. The Packers are for real. And even the Lions, with one less big target out there, in heavens, the Megatron can still get you. I'm just not buying what the Bears are selling quite yet. I need to see it with my own eyes. I still think that they're the last team in this division, and at 6-10 last year, I got them going 6-10 yet again in 2016. They were 1-5 in the division last year. They're 3-3 in the division this season. So we'll see if the Bears can make a fool out of me. Go 7-9, go 8-8, possibly 9-7 this year. We'll see. I just don't see it happening. Not with Jay Cutler as your starting quarterback. Detroit Lions, Detroit. All right. You go to the Motor City, and they're looking to restore the roar. 7-9 last year, 3-3 in the division. This was a team that saw a lot of heartbreak last year. Lost some games that they could have won some games that they easily could have lost. So 7-9, when you start 0-5, generally things don't go right. They actually turned their season around and won the 7 out of the final 11 games after starting 0-5. So that's a hell of a job coaching there by Jim Caldwell. That being said, this is a team I look at. They were missing a lot of stuff last year, especially on the defensive side of football. No DeAndre Levy for basically the entire season. That hurts because he's, to me, the heart and soul of that defense. He wasn't there. He's finally back. Hopefully he can stay healthy because they need him out there. That defense was not what we had come accustomed to. You losing Ndamukong Suh and Fairley and all those guys up front. And, yeah, you can go through a little bit of a lapse and that's what we saw from them last season. And no DeAndre Levy to add to the mix of the guys that were already gone from free agency, and it just hurt this team. And they weren't really able to recover defensively. And then offensively, you thought, well, they'll pick up the slack. But it just was something missing last year. And really what was missing was good offensive line play. They couldn't run the football. They couldn't protect Matthew Stafford. He was on his back a bunch. And that's why you spend your first-round pick on a left tackle to hopefully solidify your offensive line. So this was a team last year that offensively they just couldn't get it going. The running game was non-existent. Again, the offensive line struggled, and Matthew Stafford was on his back for a majority of the season. So if they can protect Matthew Stafford, no more Calvin Johnson, that's going to be interesting. I don't want to say it's a devastating blow because I said this, and I know I've had people disagree with me, but I said, look, a couple of years ago when he was in and out of the lineup, they thrived because I think Matthew Stafford is one of those guys that if you give him a big target, like Calvin Johnson, he's going to force the football. And maybe that's a little natural to want to force the football to your big play receiver because, and if all else fails, I can just throw it up to Calvin and he'll make a play for me in triple coverage. We've seen it. Double, triple, quadruple coverage. We've seen it where he goes up and comes down with the football amongst 2, 3, 4 defenders at a time. So sometimes you can fall into that trap and you'll turn the football over and you won't see guys running wide open because you're fixated on getting the football to your big play guy. That being said, now I look at it and I say maybe with him out of the picture, he's able to be a little bit more judicious with the football, spread it around, get it to all of the playmakers on the field and not just force it to one guy in particular. And maybe that helps this offense along. Maybe that helps them stay out of third and long. Maybe that helps them stay on schedule. Maybe that brings the turnovers down. We'll see. I don't know what kind of effect not having Heavens to Mugatron in the lineup is really going to have on this offense. I'm intrigued to see because I think they got a lot of talent on that football team, and I think Marvin Jones is going to step in and be a great complement to Golden Tate. I think you're missing a big target out there now at the receiver position. And so that is something that alarms me because now everybody looks the same to me. You're all right around 6'1", 6'2", and under on this football team. So we'll see what they do there. But make no mistake about it, the Lions have the talent to get it done. I'm just not sold on them. Again, tough division. Don't think they're one of the better teams in this division. That's reserved for the top 2 of this division. And then you look around and you say to yourself, is Matthew Stafford legit? Like, he's still one of those guys that the jury's still out on him, and we're too far in his career to be still asking questions as to whether you can win with Matthew Stafford. I think you can. Okay, we've seen this guy put up monstrous numbers. We've seen this guy take his team to the playoffs. Still doesn't have a playoff victory to his name, but I think if you protect Matthew Stafford, he can play some good football. I look at this team, they were 7-9 last year, got off to the rough start, went 3-3 in the division. I look at this team in 2016, 7-9 yet again, 2-4 this time in the division. If they can put some things together defensively, be consistent and more steady defensively, keep Matthew Stafford upright and he doesn't turn the football over, get a semblance of a run game, all of a sudden the Detroit Lions, they're not a 7-9 team. All of a sudden they're a 9-7 team. They're a 10-6 team. And all of a sudden they're knocking on the door of a playoff spot. But right now, I got to see it. I don't believe it. 7-9 for the Detroit Lions in 2016. You go to the Green Bay Packers. Last year, 10-6, 3-3 in this division. And that's where they struggled last year. Believe it or not, this is a team that usually cleans up and mops up the NFC North division. Normally, this is a 5-1 team in the division, 4-2 at worst. They even lost to the Lions at home. They hadn't lost to the Lions at home since 1991, okay? I was still crawling around on the floor in 91. No, it wasn't, but you get what I'm trying to say, man. I mean, it had been that long. We're talking over 2 decades. They hadn't lost at Lambeau to the Lions, and they did that last year, okay? They don't lose to the Bears. Hell, Jay Cutler doesn't beat Aaron Rodgers. It just doesn't happen in Lambeau, at Soldier Field. It just doesn't happen. Well, it happened last year at Lambeau. Okay, they were losing games at Lambeau Field to teams in this division. They lost all 3 of their home games in the division at home. They lost to Minnesota in Week 17 to lose the division, and that just doesn't happen for the Packers. That's an atypical season for the Packers where they lose all 3 of their home games within the division. You probably won't see that again in the Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers tenure. I don't see that happening again unless Aaron Rodgers is hurt, okay? But that's what happened last year. And so now you fast forward to 2016, you're getting a lot of your stuff back. This is a deep football team, deep defensively. I think they're starting to put some things together on that side of the football. I look at them offensively, and they got Aaron Rodgers, man. I mean, what more can I say? They got Aaron Rodgers. And they got Jordy Nelson back. And that wide receiver core, I think, is better off because of his injury last year. Guys had to step up. And guys had to fill that void. And because they had to play and step up last year, now with Jordy Nelson back in the fold, this is a dangerous football team because those guys have now elevated their level of play. They now know what's expected of them because they had to go out and perform without a true number one receiver out on the football field. I think that just makes that group of receivers that much more scarier. The run game is going to improve because Eddie Lacy is going to improve because he got put on notice last year. He got served when they left last year for their exit interviews. Literally, Mike McCarthy said, "You're fat. You're overweight. Get your ass in shape or we're going to have problems, Eddie." Eddie went home. Eddie got in shape. He's a different dude. He's going to come out and be a stud this year in the run game. I look at the Packers. Somebody come and get the cup out of my hand. Y'all don't understand, man. I'm drunk. All right? I'm sipping that Packer Patron, and I'm over here tipsy, borderline wasted. Somebody get the cup out of my hand, man. I'm drinking the Packer juice right now, man. That Packer punch is awfully tasty. 14-2 for the Green Bay Packers. 4-2 in the division. That's right. Both of their losses on the season come within the division. Yes, somebody get the cup out of my hand, man. I'm drunk. Off a Packer punch. 14-2 for these boys in 2016. To me, they're the favorite in the NFC to win the entire thing. I just feel like this is one of those years that's shaping up for a really good run for the Green Bay Packers. Let's go to the Minnesota Vikings, the team that won this division, that slayed the dragon known as the Green Bay Packers in this division at 11-5 last year, went into the Packers' den and came out alive, skinned the Packers alive, ate the cheese, won the division at 5-1 in this division, which if you want to win the division, that's how you do it right there, 5-1. That's the difference between them winning the division and the Packers winning the division. The Packers went 10-6, 3-3 in this division. Vikings cleaned up, mopped up the division at 5-1, including beating the Packers in week 16. That's how you, or 17, excuse me, that's how you do it. So I look at this team in 2016, and Mike Zimmer just got the extension. They're all in on Mike Zimmer. They're all in on this Minnesota Vikings ball club. And why wouldn't they be? I mean, this is a team that in 2 years' time since Mike Zimmer has been there, they've totally changed the mindset and the image of this football team. They aren't the same Minnesota Vikings that you've come to know and love as a solid group, going to win 8-9 games maybe in a good year. You know, hover around the playoffs, not get in, man. They kicked that door down last year. This is a physical, smash-mouth team. I remember the teams of the late 90s, early 2000s, finesse teams that wanted to score a bunch of points but didn't play a lot of defense. This is the direct opposite, polar opposites, in fact. This is a team that will hit you in the mouth, that will beat you 10-13, that will beat you 16-13, that had the Seattle Seahawks and let them off the hook in that playoff game. Blair Walsh missing a chip shot field goal. Look, this team is serious. They're for real. They play defense. They run the football. They don't ask a lot out of Teddy Bridgewater. I look at them and I say to myself, they are a splitting image of their coach. And he's a guy that I think has the pulse of this Vikings football team. They're very talented, have talent dripping and oozing out of every nook and cranny of this football team. I think they could use some more firepower offensively, and I think they're going to see some more Stephon Diggs this year. Swag Dizzle is going to step up for them. Charles Johnson looked like he was injured last year. Looks like he's healthy and primed for a breakout season. Add in Laquan Treadwell. I like what they got at the tight end position. I think this could be a scary team if Adrian Peterson continues to run the football like he has and like he did last year. The secret weapon, don't tell nobody about Jerick McKinnon. All of a sudden now, I look at that defense, they're set over there on that side of the ball. I don't worry about them defensively. If the offense can come around, start putting up points on some teams, this is a scary group in Minnesota. Some people even have them as their Super Bowl sleeper. I look at this team, Got them making the playoffs, but I told you I'm drunk off the Packer punch. They're going to finish the season at 11-5, are the Minnesota Vikings, which is good enough to get them in as a wild card. 3-3 in this division, so they take a step back in this division. I thought they won some games last year on the road in this division that I just don't see them winning again this season. Had a couple of games that they could have easily lost that they won. But make no mistake about it, 11-5 last year, 11-5 again this year. They're serious, folks, and this is the type of team that once they get into the postseason, all bets are off because they got the two things that you can pack in your suitcase and travel with and get you a W on the road in the playoffs, and that's a run game and a defense. They come packed and equipped with both. That's going to make them a dangerous team come January and possibly into February. So that, my friends, is the NFC North in a nutshell. You tell me what's really good in this division, as I have already given you my perspective on the NFC North.
Let me ask you a question.
What's really good?
Only thing we really want to know right now is what's really good.
What's really good, huh?
But the question for y'all, what's really good?
I have no further questions.
All right, so you guys know the routine. You tell me what's really good. Phone lines are open. Hit me up, 757-504-7243 for those of you not watching and just listening. I actually have a call. I'm going to go ahead and take it. You're on live with Louie Tee Live. Who am I speaking with?
You speak with Malik.
What's going on, Malik?
Nothing much, man.
Talk to me about the NFC North division, man. Who's going to win this division?
I think Vikings are going to win it pretty easily.
Oh, wow. So you got the Vikings winning this thing and running away with it.
Yep.
Okay, talk to me about that. So the Vikings are winning this division with what record?
I got Packers coming in second,
Mm-hmm.
Bears coming in third, and then Lions coming in fourth.
Okay. You got some records for me?
Yep, I got Vikings 12-4, Packers 11-5, Bears 8-8, and Lions 6-10.
Okay, so you really like the Bears. Going 8-8, you know what? I'm not opposed to that, man. John Fox is a winner, man. That's all that man does. And I could easily see them improving by 2 games in 2016 and getting to 500 on the season. But you like the Vikings, so you drinking that Vikings Kool-Aid, man. This is a really good team. Why do you think they're going to finish in first?
Because they got 2 first-round picks, basically. They got McKenzie, Alexander, and they got Laquan Treadwell, who's looking much better right now than who we got in Josh Doxson. So they got 2 first-rounders, and I feel like that defense and the run game can take them over. It can take them pretty far in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting discussion, to say the least. I like the way their rookies, Mackenzie Alexander, the knock on him coming out was he couldn't pick off passes. Well, he's already got an interception in the preseason. So how ironic is that? Before you go, you've already given me your order of this division, got the Vikings winning this thing at 12-4. Give me the order of the quarterbacks in this division.
I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Jay Cutler, number 2.
Okay.
I'm going to go Matthew Stafford, number 3, and Teddy Bridgewater, number 4.
Okay. Wow. Cutler, 2. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Malik, man. It's always a pleasure. Keep tuning in and have a good one, man. Look forward to hearing from you in the future.
You too.
Take care. All right, so first call of the day sets the table, and my man Malik says that Packers are going to come in second in this division, not first. Vikings are going to come in first at 12-4, and he says that Jay Cutler is the second best quarterback in this division. What? What? Got a call. Got to go ahead and take it. You're on live with Louie Tee Live. Who am I speaking with?
Brian.
What's going on, BE?
Man, this is going to be interesting. What I see is, I like Chicago with Alshon Jeffrey and Kevin White.
Mm-hmm.
Them losing Matt Forte is going to hurt them. I see the Bears going 6-10, just like your prediction. Mm-hmm. I like their offense. They have to do something with Alshon Jeffrey, though, with him not having an extension yet and go like did with Brandon Marshall last year. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting with that. With the Lions, that's interesting. Losing Calvin Johnson is going to hurt them a lot. Yeah. I think them signing Marvin Jones, they got Anquan Bolden, which I think that veteran leadership is going to
help them a lot, yes.
And with Golden Tate, that I like their receiving course. I think they're going to do a lot better than they did last year. Amir Abdullah, I think, is going to have a really good year this year. He showed flashes last year. Didn't really do good in some games. So I see the Lions going 8-8, 9-7 possibly.
Right.
Now, for the division, who wins the division, I have the Packers going at 13-3.
Okay.
If they would have had Jordy Nelson healthy and Eddie Lacy in shape, they would have won the division. Because of those two losses is, I feel, why the Vikings won it. Vikings have a really good defense.
Right.
The Packers are going to go 13-3. I see the Vikings going 12-4. They have a really good defense.
Ooh, I love it.
Anthony Barr, Linval Joseph, Harrison Smith.
The defense is loaded, man. Defense is loaded.
They got talent everywhere. And they have Adrian Peterson. You're not going to stop him. He's going to get hit one way or another, easy way or hard way. He's going to get his. Plus, they have Stephon Diggs. They have Raquan Treadle. They're good at wide receiver and running back. And I like how they got Alex Boone from the Niners. They signed Andre Smith. So they fixed their offensive line. They have a really decent offensive line for Adrian Peterson. So it's going to be interesting.
I think so too, man. I mean, my question for you, I got a couple of them actually, is do you think that this is the best division in the NFC?
That's based on off of talent alone, yes.
Okay.
Because the Niners don't really have talent. The only other division I could see that would fight for them is the NFC West.
Right, and that's the division that I have over this division, but it's neck and neck. I mean, literally, if you wanted to take the two last place teams or the two teams that aren't where the other two teams are in the division in terms of the top two teams in both of those divisions out of the equation, and you just want to look at the last two teams bringing up the rear, maybe this NFC North division is better. I mean, because I think the Lions and the Bears are better than the Rams and the 49ers. So technically speaking, if you're talking top to bottom, the North may be pound for pound the best division in the NFC, man. Give me your quarterbacks in this division in order before you go.
Have to go Aaron, based off the 2015 season. Have to go Aaron Rodgers first. Teddy Bridgewater second.
Okay.
Stafford third. And Cutler fourth.
Okay.
Like, even with Randall Cobb and other lower-end receivers missing out on Jordy Nelson, Packers still did really good in the season and in the playoffs. Then they almost beat us with Jeff Janis.
Hey, look, man. Aaron Rodgers is a monster, man. And I had to find that out the hard way as a Redskins fan. I asked for him. I said, look, I don't want any part of the Seahawks. I'll take the Packers. They got a suspect D. Give me Aaron Rodgers. I'm not afraid of him. And what did he do? He came out and carved me up with a bunch of backups, man. I mean, I got what I asked for. They say be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. I got it, and I wasn't happy with what I got.
Exactly. Man, 2 last-second Hail Marys.
Yeah. I know he almost gave you a heart attack over there in the second round.
Yeah, I was shitting bricks that day.
I bet you were, man. I bet you were. Hey, man, it's always a pleasure, BE, man. Thanks for chiming in. Continue to support and continue to call in. Take care of yourself. Talk to you next time.
You too.
All right, man. All right, so phone lines are open. 757-504-7243. Gonna take to Twitter and read a few of your comments off. All right, at Kookie Kim 1357 says Packers 13-3, Vikings 12-4, Bears 8-8, Lions 5-11. I'm feeling it's crazy. I'm feeling a little bit of hate for this Lions team, and hate is the wrong word. I mean, that's a strong word. I'm feeling a little bit of slight. That's a better word. A slight towards the Lions, man. Lions. I've gotten a call that said 6-10 for the Lions. I'm looking at a 5-11 here from Andrew Kim. Not a lot of love for the Lions, man. Where y'all at out there, Lions fans? If you out there, man, call in here and defend your squad. You're on live with Louie Tee Live. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Lou. It's Slip. What's up, Doe?
What's going on, Slip?
Hey, first thing, I'm going to get to the NFC North real quick, and I'll rate the NFC North's 4 best corners for you, because I heard Nick Knight, and I just wanted to respond to that. So I'm going to give you my 4 best NFC North corners, all right? You ready?
Go ahead.
All right. This is, Nevin Lawson.
Say that again?
Nevin Lawson, best corner in the division.
Okay.
All right? Mackenzie Alexander, number 2. Terrence Newman, number 3. And number 4, Kyle Fuller.
As of right now, that's your list of the top 4 corners in the NFC North.
No, I mean, I'm just responding to the last caller last night, Nick. Remember?
Yeah.
Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm joking.
I know you were. He called up here. I had a dude. Was it you who called up here and said, "Yeah, it's Jeff. Browns are winning this division."
Yeah.
Hey, you a damn fool, man. All right. Talk to me about this division, man. NFC North. First and foremost, before you even jump into the divisional breakdown and tell me what you think about this division and what's going to happen, is this the best division in the NFC, top to bottom?
I got to think so, because I think the Lions are a contender.
Really? Think the Lions? Okay, save that for your breakdown. So you think this is better than the NFC West here?
I think the Cardinals and Seahawks are both Super Bowl contenders.
Mm-hmm.
I think only the Packers are really Super Bowl contenders. I think the Vikings are just good enough for the playoffs. I don't think they're here yet. And, neither with the Lions.
Okay.
So that's my thing. I think NFC West is more top-heavy.
Yeah.
NFC North, it's got a little bit more depth.
And you know what? I think that's the perfect way to put it. I was just talking to the last caller, and I said, you know what? I was before I started, I said I think I was leaning towards the NFC West being the best division, but I think that's more top-heavy. And I think that, and I'm still an LA Rams guy because of what their defense can do in any given game. But I think the 49ers are really bad. And I look at this division, and they don't have a really bad team in it. I think from the best team in the division to the last team in the division, the gap is a little bit closer than in the NFC West. So I have to side with you there. I think you just explained it perfectly. Give me your breakdown of this division. Who's coming in first, second, third, and give me some records too.
Hey, 12-4. They win the division.
Okay.
All right. Now this is a legitimate. I truly feel this. This is just a gut feeling right here. This ain't me joking. I think the Lions go 9-7 to finish second. I think Minnesota finishes third with 9-7. But the Lions get that tiebreaker. Okay.
Wow. That's ballsy. So you don't think the loss of Calvin Johnson will be felt as much?
I was watching Marvin Jones tonight. He abused Dre Kirkpatrick. I mean, I know it's Dre Kirkpatrick, but Marvin Jones is good. I know they have good wide receiver depth, and I think the running game's a bit suspect.
Well, Slip, you know what Marvin is about, man.
He's about injuries, I know.
Yeah, I mean, if the dude's healthy, he's a stud. You know that. A really good number 2 receiver in this league.
But I think their offensive line is better than Minnesota's offensive line. I was going to get to this. You might see him tonight against Seattle. I saw him last week against Cincinnati. Now, I know Cincinnati's elite defensive line. Minnesota's offensive line was trash. Andre Smith was never a good pass blocker. He cannot handle he couldn't handle Von Miller. He couldn't handle, I know Von Miller's big, but I'm saying he's a good run blocker. Andre Smith is a very good run blocker. That's good for Adrian Peterson.
Right.
But, that offensive line got tarnished. Like, they went 3 and out, easily. They couldn't even get a playoff. I don't see how Teddy Bridgewater can be that successful with that shoddy of an offensive line. I mean, I know AP's back there, but I think they'll finish with a winning record, but I don't like that offensive line at all. Big fan of the defense, big fan of Zimmer. Bridgewater, I'm like kind of in the middle of the road list. I think he's like Alex Smith, but I mean,
he's the new Alex Smith, man. Except I think he can actually push the football down the field. Like I saw him trying to mature as a down the field passer against Cincinnati last week in the preseason. He had to step up in the pocket to avoid the rush and ended up slinging it down the field to a wide open Charles Johnson for a touchdown.
Oh yeah. That was against our second team though.
I'm aware that you had already pulled some of your starters out of the game at that point, but still, that's what I want to see from Teddy Bridgewater. In past years, he was missing that pass. That deep ball accuracy was very poor. If he can hit that a little bit more consistently, he's got guys that can win deep, and Stephon Diggs and even Laquan Treadwell to a certain extent. He's got guys with some speed out there. If he can get the football to him, Charles Johnson, another guy that can pick him up and put him down. He can get the football deep to these guys accurately. He can make some plays and make this offense a little bit more explosive because, like you said, defensively, they're legit. Offense is where you kind of question them. Do they have enough offensive firepower to be able to outlast some teams that can actually put some points up on the scoreboard? So that'll be intriguing. But you got the Vikings coming in at 9-7 along with the Lions. Lions win the tiebreaker. What do the Bears do in this division?
5-11.
5-11. So they take a step back. See, I'm a John Fox guy, and I really feel like John Fox is a winner. Hard for me to swallow that he takes a step back after I thought the Bears had the worst roster in all the National Football League last year. Their roster is much improved after all of the moves they made in the offseason. Hard for me to see them taking a step back. I still got them being 6-10 again, which is what they were last year. We'll see. We'll see.
I said 5-11, 6-10, so he can go either way.
Yeah,
I like 6-10.
I got you. Talk to me about the quarterbacks in this division. Rank them for me.
Oh, well, I mean, number one, Aaron Rodgers.
Obviously.
But after that, I mean, this is the toughest quarterback ranking.
Yep, and that's why I need it tonight. I need it tonight because it gets nasty after one. It's just jumbled and muddled. It's really up to you. What's your preference?
Yeah, exactly. But you ain't going to get anything juicy from me. I have a number one, Aaron Rodgers, and then all of them are tied at number two. They're all just whatever.
Really? You going to do me like that, Slip?
I have to. Because I can't definitively put Bridgewater over Stafford or Cutler because he doesn't have the experience yet. I know he's good, but he's a different quarterback too. Like, Stafford and Cutler are the same. They're both these gunslingers wild.
I want to say they're the same. There's a clear delineation for me. Stafford can win you 10, 11 games and get you to the playoffs. Jay Cutler can't. That's the difference.
I've seen Jay Cutler bring a team to the playoffs.
I need my crack staff to get on this. Has Jay Cutler ever been to the playoffs before?
Yes. He made it to the playoffs. He had a first-round bye. He won that game, and then he lost the NFC Championship. I think it was to the Saints.
Was it to the Saints?
Yes.
He was the quarterback of that team?
Yes, he was.
Okay, see, I thought that might have still been some Rex Grossman nonsense going on in Chicago.
No, but that was a long time ago for Jay Cutler.
That was eons ago, man. Well, if that is in fact true, if that's legit, and I trust you, then he actually has something that Matthew Stafford doesn't. That's a playoff victory. So, I don't know. Maybe they are one and the same. I know they're both, like you said, gunslingers. I respect Matthew Stafford more. I just do. Jay Cutler, to me, he just does. It just seems like he's one of those guys that at the end of the game, you just know he's going to do something to F it up.
Yeah.
And at least with Matthew Stafford, I feel like, hey, Matt might bring you back and help you win a ball game. I'm like, Jay's going to throw it away. So, in any event, man, appreciate you, Slip, dropping that knowledge on us, man, as you always do. And look forward to talking to you in the future. And enjoy the rest of the program. And I look forward to talking to you in the future, man. Take care.
All right, take care, Luke.
Likewise. You are on live with Louie Tee Live. Who am I speaking with? You're on live with Louie Tee Live. Who am I speaking with?
This is Anthony from Anthony James TV.
Hey, what's up, Anthony?
Hey.
What's going on, man?
What you doing? Not too much. I have my Vikings preseason on, and I'm listening to you at the same time.
Awesome, man. Glad to hear from you, man. Talk to me about your division, man. Talk to me about the NFC North and how you think this thing is going to shape out. And what do you think your Vikings are going to do?
I'll tell you. like, this is the year I've been waiting for I don't know how long. 'Cause for me, the Vikings, this is that year. After they drafted Teddy Bridgewater, I'm like, this is the year they'll contend. I thought they'd win the division this year.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm a Vikings fan. I think they'll win the division again this year.
Yeah.
If they can do that, they will be a surprise NFC contender.
Mm-hmm.
I can see them going to the NFC Championship. I cannot predict the Vikings to go to a Super Bowl. I just cannot do that.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think you see the Vikings as a playoff team. You,
Yeah.
of course, see the Packers as a playoff team.
Right.
I think the Bears ceiling 9 or 8 wins.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Lions, they'll probably be 7 as a ceiling. I'd say they'll probably go 5 or 6 wins, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully they get a new head coach after the season.
So you're not a Jim Caldwell guy?
Yeah, he's okay,
Mm-hmm.
but he's one of those head coaches that he can make a franchise better. He's like the Marvin Lewis type. He can make a franchise better, but he can't take them to that next level. I can't see the Lions being a Super Bowl contender in a few years, or I just can't see them being contenders under Jim Caldwell.
Okay. I got you. So you think the Bears are going to be improved in 2016?
I think a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jay Cutler, he's not a bad quarterback. Like, he's probably top 20, which nowadays in the NFL, a lot of teams would give to have a top 20 quarterback. But in the division where you have the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers, you have the Minnesota Vikings with a good defense and maybe decent offense is pushing it, but they just can't be a playoff. If this was the AFC South or if this was the NFC East, you can make a strong argument that the Bears win the division. But in this division, they should be a better team than they were last year, but that's about it.
Yeah, I love John Fox. I think he's underrated as a head coach, but with Jay Cutler at quarterback, man, I can't see them taking that next step. All right, so you got the Vikings winning this division. What's the record that they finished with this season?
I put them into some schedule organizer. It's 12-4. I think that might be one win too many, but I guess I have to go with 12-4 because that's what I'm going to go with.
Okay.
I think 12-4, 11-4, or 12-5, 12-4 or 11-5.
Right.
I'd be shocked if they get 3-13 or about that. I'd be totally and completely shocked.
Yeah.
I think 12 wins is realistically their ceiling.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hit them with that ceiling.
And so, where do you have the Packers going?
I have them 11-5. I
Okay.
think they're a little bit better. They have Jordy Nelson back,
Right.
which I like Jordy. I don't know if we're going to see the Jordy from 2 years ago, but I think we're going to see a lot better wide receivers than we did last year.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the defense is just going to be not terrible, but not great.
Yeah.
So Rodgers is going to be in charge mainly, and if he has a bad game, they lose. But I think 11-5, they'll be a wild card team for sure. And I wouldn't be shocked if they won the division, but they're a playoff team regardless.
Right, and that's what I got them. I'm drinking the Packers Kool-Aid this year. I think they're gonna come out like gangbusters. I mean, they started the season 6-0 last year without Jordy Nelson before everybody found out that they were lacking on offense in a number of different places, mainly being able to stretch the defense. But Eddie Lacy he's in shape. I think he's going to be much better this year. I think Jordy Nelson's presence out there alone is going to really improve that offense. And I think they're going to be clicking on all cylinders. And they're going to come out and I think they're going to do some serious damage in this division and in the NFC in general. And I see them being a serious Super Bowl contender. I see the Vikings, like I said earlier, the Vikings have the two things that you need to be able to travel come January, and that's a defense and a run game, and they have both of them in spades. And so I look at that Vikings team, and I see them as a scary team as well, man. Talk to me about the quarterbacks in this division. Rank them for me.
Rodgers, Stafford, Cutler, Bridgewater.
Okay. So you
that's just...
Yep.
I'll be honest, I like Bridgewater. I was a big fan of the Lake Bortles out of college. Bridgewater was my number 5 quarterback. Today, I wasn't upset when the Vikings drafted him.
Right.
And I think he's better than Christian Ponder, but I don't want to drink his juice too soon.
Yeah.
Because I did that with Christian Ponder, and I got burned. So
Yeah.
I'll keep him at number 4. has to prove himself this year.
Would you have preferred Derek Carr? And I know it's hindsight is 2020, obviously, but even at that time, would you have preferred you guys to trade back into the first round and take Derek Carr instead of Teddy Bridgewater?
See, I remember when they did it because they missed Johnny Manziel. At the time, I was upset, but obviously I'm not anymore.
Right.
But then they traded back into the first, and I'm like, they're going to do Carr or Bridgewater. And I did have Carr ahead of Bridgewater, but I was kind of hoping Bridgewater.
Okay.
And, like, right now, yeah, Carr is the better quarterback. I think he's kind of hit his ceiling. I think he might be a little bit better than last year, but, I mean, that's not bad. Carr's a good quarterback, but I don't think we're going to be seeing him go to another level.
Right.
Bridgewater, I think he can probably get to Carr's level, and that's probably his ceiling. But why I love Blake Bortles, his ceiling is much higher than both of theirs.
Right.
I think there's not a big chance, but small that he's top 5. That's why I wanted the Vikings to take him. But Teddy Bridgewater, I was okay with them drafting him.
I look at him and he's like Alex Smith 2.0. Like he's an upgraded version of Alex Smith. And I just think the difference between he and Alex Smith is he's willing to push the football down the field. And his deep ball accuracy has been horrible early in his career. But I'm hoping that if that deep ball he threw to Charles Johnson last week in the Cincinnati game is any indication of what he's becoming. And he hit the deep ball a little bit last year. I remember vividly against Detroit. In Detroit, Stephon Diggs got behind him, and he actually had to lay out for that one, which, again, upset me because it was not accurate. He had to dive for it. But, I think if Teddy can start to hit the deep ball with a little bit more regularity, that'll be something that – because you guys got speed now. You got legit speed out there. I think Charles Johnson looked like he's healthy again. Stephon Diggs can move. And I think Laquan Treadwell can get behind, defenses as well. If you sleep on him, he can get behind you as well. So I like the weapons that they've surrounded him with. The tight end position is really good with Pruitt and, of course, Kyle Rudolph. There's weapons around him. Now it's just up to him and that offensive line to protect him long enough to allow him to spread the football around. And we'll see if Teddy can take that step that you're talking about. I think he's more of a caretaker of an offense more than a playmaker, but we'll see. Hey, man.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think we're going to see an improved Teddy Bridgewater this year, but I don't think it's going to be leaps and bounds. I don't think we're going to see Bridgewater go from year 2 to year 3 like we saw Derek Carr go from year 1 to year 2.
Yeah.
I think he'll be better. I think, and if you want to go by NFC North quarterback standards, I think he can move up. I think he could be the number 3, maybe number 2 quarterback in the NFC North. But I'm not going to get my hopes up too much.
Cautious optimism, man. You've been burnt once. I totally get it. As a fan, once you get burnt once, man, you're reluctant to do it again. So
yeah.
I definitely get it.
Oh, I know.
Hey, man, it was a pleasure, man. Love your content. Love your channel. If you guys haven't already done so, check out Anthony's channel. Tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube. My channel name's Anthony James TV. Funny thing is, I used to make a lot of WWE videos. My channel used to be called Ms. The Champ. So actually search that and you'll find my channel. For some reason, you don't find it when you search Anthony James TV. But I've been doing preview predictions for all 32 teams. It's been a lot of fun. But, yeah, thanks.
Hey, no problem, man. And I regularly check your stuff out, man, and it's some good content. And he puts a lot of thought into, and I'm a big Y guy, he puts a lot of thought into his analysis of these teams when he's breaking them down, man. It's always a pleasure, Anthony, to talk to you. Appreciate you calling in. Take care of yourself. Look forward to hearing from you in the future, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Thanks, Louie, for having me on. You got great content, too.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. I really do. Take care.
Yeah. Yep. See ya.
All right. So, Anthony chimed in, thinks his Vikes are going to win this division at 12-4. And I think that's the consensus right now is it's either Packers or Vikings. And I think that is the consensus for everyone. It's one of the two teams. You flip a coin and you can pick one or the other. I'm all in on the Packers this year. Got a call, gonna go ahead and take it. You're on live with Louie Tee Live. Who am I speaking with?
This is Rob.
What's going on, Rob? Talk to me, man.
I want to say that for one thing, I'd like to say that this division is going to be a little bit of fool's gold.
Think so?
They're going to have the same basic schedule that the Carolina Panthers had last year. You know, they get to play the NFC East and the AFC South.
Right.
So I have a funny feeling that, you know, the good teams there, that's going to be a good possibility for each of them. So.
And that's part of the reason why I got the Packers going 14-2. When you play those divisions in combination with one another, and again, we can't go off of last year and assume that the NFC East is going to be putrid and no Tony Romo and, you know, the Giants are going to be horrible and the Eagles, even though I think the Eagles are going to be bad, you can't assume that they're going to be down, and you can't assume that the AFC South is going to be trash like it was last year. Andrew Luck should be healthy. Titans should be much improved. Texans got a quarterback now. We don't know what he's going to do, but it's an upgrade over what they had last year. And, of course, Jacksonville made a bunch of improvements. So you got to assume that these teams are going to be more competitive. But that being said, I am with you 110%. I think that the elite teams in this division are going to feast on those other divisions, and that's going to help them really pad their records when it's all said and done.
And that's why I'm going to have Green Bay going 13-3 and have an home field advantage.
Yep.
For the playoffs, but I do not consider them better than the Cardinals or the Seahawks, and maybe not even better than the Panthers. But it's just going to be a case of the schedule is going to make it a little bit easier for them.
I tell you what, though, this is what we saw with Carolina last year, and I talked about this on a number of occasions. When you start winning football games, and I talk about this, I call it the vicious cycle of winning and confidence. Winning breeds confidence. Confidence breeds winning. If you can start winning ball games, and if they go, like you said, 13-3, that's going to be an ultra confident and cocky Green Bay Packers football team at that point. We saw it with Carolina. When they started out the season last year, they were not the juggernaut that they ultimately turned into going into Super Bowl 50. At the beginning of the season, they were barely beating Houston, and they barely beat New Orleans at home with Luke McCown. They were not the team that ultimately started running teams out of the building and beating teams up. You start winning ball games, you get really confident, and that could be something that really helps these teams in this particular division. They start winning some games, you'll see a lot of confidence starting to be exuded from these teams.
And in a way, I think that might be a problem for Carolina this year, because I don't know, you know, I just remember the old Cam Newton where, you know, sometimes he'd bury his head for a while, and that's, I don't want to see him do that anymore, but you never know. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, you're hoping he's over that phase of his career, but, you know, like winning cures all, but when you start losing, that's how you really find out. The true test of a man is when things aren't going well. Yeah. And we're going to find out if things aren't going well for the Panthers this season and Cam Newton, is he going to put his head under that towel and start sulking again? Or is he going to say, hey, we can do this and rally the troops and get them back on track? We'll see. That's an intriguing discussion. But talk to me about this division. You said you think that the teams that they're playing are going to help them pat their stats. You got the Packers at 13-3 winning this division, getting home field advantage. What do you have the Vikings doing?
I have them 11-5, but basically the whole idea for that is, you know, the Packers will be playing the Seahawks at home and have a game against Philadelphia, while Minnesota's going to have to play the Cardinals and the Panthers. So that's going to be the only difference in their schedules this year. Right,
and it's a big difference. You know what I mean? Like, people always talk about it's only 2 games difference. Well, that's a huge 2 games. You're talking about a difference between a team possibly being 12-4 and 10-6. That's the difference between winning the division, losing the division, getting a home playoff game, and a bye and not getting a home playoff game and have to go to the road, you know, on the road. So 2 games is a huge difference, and those are tough 2 games.
Yep.
All right, so got the Vikings at 11-5 coming in second. What do you have coming in third?
I will put Bears at 7-9 and Detroit at 6-10.
Okay. So continuing on with the Lions not getting any love at 6-10. Rank the quarterbacks in this division for me, Rob.
I'm going to go with Rodgers. I will go with Stafford. Last year I had a little bit of problem thinking about, but you know, it's almost like, do I want skill or do I want the heart that Bridgewater has? I think that Cutler definitely has more skill still. And I did want to say something about the Bears playoffs with Cutler.
Uh-huh.
It was actually the year that Green Bay won the Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
Green Bay had gone up to the wild card route, and Chicago had
won the division.
they won the division.
Once he
They
brought
played
it up,
the Seahawks team. They played the Seahawks team that knocked off New Orleans with a beast run or a beast quake.
Right.
And actually, that championship game was the one where, in the second half, Cutler was sitting on the bicycle pedaling.
Yeah.
While his team was losing.
Right. I remember that. I mean, it all started to come back to me as he was telling me. Now, I did forget that Cutler didn't really participate in the second half of that game. But I remember very vividly them getting all the way to the NFC Championship game, and I don't think he's been back to the postseason since, as a matter of fact.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, and so...
I'm not thrilled with his leadership at all.
Oh, yeah, me either. Not at all. I'm not a Jay Cutler fan. I think his talent is immense, but, you know, it just never manifested itself into winning, which is the big problem for me.
As far as rating the quarterback, I still would have to put him a little ahead of Bridgewater for now.
Okay.
Bridgewater's just going to have to show me something.
Hey, no problems with that at all, man. It's been a pleasure, Rob. Great call, great insight. Love the fact that you were able to chime in. Looking forward to talking to you in the future. Take care of yourself, and also, please continue to support the channel, man. Have a good one.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Take care.
Goodbye.
Great call from Rob. Rob dropping a little knowledge here on the program. Let's jump into some Twitter and see what you guys have to say. All right. My man at LER3AP3R, my man Brat says, the Bears will be basement dwelling and the Packers will win the division. Vikings will win a wild card spot. That is the way I have it set up as well, Brax. I think the Bears could be better than I'm giving. Look, I actually don't think any team in this division is terrible anymore. Thought the Bears were terrible last year, and they still, again, they were able to squeeze that rag and get as much out of it as they can. And they got 6 wins out of a rag that was basically dry. So give credit where credit is deserved. They could be I think they're much improved. Let's see if they're able to turn that into victories this season. You are on live with Louie Tee Live. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, what's up? It's Tim.
What's going on, Tim? What's up, Brown Shoes?
Nothing much. I'm actually at home today.
Good for you, man. Good for you. Off day. Love it. Or you might have went in earlier. I don't know. I want to say you was off. But in any event, glad to have you on the program. Let's hear your input, man. Talk to me about the NFC North division. First and foremost, before you jump in and tell me what you think, is this the best division in the NFC, in your opinion?
I don't think so. I think that's still the NFC West, honestly.
Yeah. You know what? I go back and forth with that. I started the program saying it was the NFC West as well. And then as I talked to some callers and I started to think top to bottom, I think the NFC West is more top heavy. But if you're talking from 1 to 4, I think this division actually might be better overall top to bottom. I think the two teams at the top kind of mirror the two teams in the other division. Maybe the Vikings are a little bit behind, you know, whoever doesn't come in first place in the other division, but not by much. But then I think the Lions are right on par with the Rams, and I think the Bears are much better than the 49ers. I think the 49ers are one of the worst teams in the league, so that's for what it's worth, man. Okay, but you still think the West is better. All right, great. Talk to me about this division now. Who do you have finishing where and why?
I have Green Bay going first. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the Vikings. They have a really good defense, and they got Adrian Peterson, but I just don't trust Teddy Bridgewater, personally. I mean, like his stats his first year, he had under 3,000 yards, and his second year, he barely had over 3,000 yards. And he's almost got the same amount of interceptions as touchdowns on his career. So, I mean, personally, I'm not a big fan of him. I mean, I know some people like him a lot better than me, but I don't know. I guess he's just not the type of quarterback that I like to watch personally.
Right. And what you have to come to grips with, and being that you're not a Vikings fan, it really doesn't make you one bit of difference, but what you have to come to grips with if you're a Vikings fan or just a fan in general like myself is he's Alex Smith. There's nothing wrong with being a caretaker of an offense. If you put a good defense around him, which they have in Minnesota, you put a run game around him, which they have in Minnesota, they got weapons around him as well. You can win football games. We've seen this model work before. Alex Smith took the 49ers all the way to the NFC Championship game, and if not for a couple of Kyle Williams fumbles, they probably win that football game. So all I'm saying is you can win with this model. We've seen it be successful before. The Chiefs are in the postseason every year. They seem like they're getting better. He's that type of quarterback. You can win with Teddy Bridgewater. He's not going to be a playmaker, I don't think, ever in his career. I think he's more of a caretaker of a football team, which is totally fine by me. Know who you are, know your role, play it well. That's what Teddy Bridgewater does.
I agree, but going back a little bit to the NFC North and West, I mean, personally, I think either the Seahawks or the Cardinals are leaps and bounds above the Vikings just because they actually have a legit quarterback, in my opinion. Like, both of them, like, the Cardinals have a great offense, and the Seahawks have a pretty good offense, and they have a lot better, in my opinion, they have a lot better defense than the Vikings. But, I mean, the Vikings are still going to be good. I'm not going to say that they're going to be like, they're still going to be 10-6 or better. Okay. I'm not saying that they're going to be bad. I
get what you're saying. I mean, if you're comparing the two, I get what you're saying. All right, so you got them at 10-6. Did you give me the Packers record? I know you said they're going to win the division.
They're going to be. I'm going to guess. I'm 12-4. They could go 13-3, but it's going to be something like that.
Okay. So you got them winning this division comfortably.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say the Lions a third, just because I think that their defense might come through for them. I mean, just a couple years ago, they were one of the best in the league. Last year, they kind of fell off the cliff. But I think that they're going to come back this year. I think they've got a pretty good secondary, pretty good front seven. Their run game is horrible, but I mean, they still have weapons out there for Matt Stafford, and I think the Lions will be about an 7-8 win team, and then the Bears will be about a 6 or 7 win team.
Okay, so you got the Bears right around where they were last year at 6-10, or improving by a game, 7-9. I feel the same way about the Bears, even though I think they have made vast improvements to their roster. And I love John Fox as a coach. Think he's underrated. Love Vic Fangio as a defensive coordinator. I just think that Jay Cutler is going to hold that team back when it's all said and done. Okay, so you've given me the order of this division. Talk to me about the quarterbacks in this division. Rank them 1 through 4 for me.
I'm going to have to go with Rodgers, Stafford. Cutler just barely over Bridgewater. Okay. Just barely. I don't know. That's a hard one for me because Bridgewater has a lot more potential since he's young. He's going into his third year. He still can improve. Jay Cutler's not going to improve.
No, yeah, we know who he is. We know exactly who Jay Cutler is by now.
I mean, if I had to start another franchise right now, I would pick Bridgewater. But if I had to just do it this year, I would probably do Cutler.
And that makes sense. I totally get that. I could definitely see why you would make that decision. Yeah, I can go with that. I can get with that. Hey, man, Tim, appreciate your input. Appreciate the call. Glad you were able to join us, and look forward to talking to you in the future, man. And I'm going to be breaking down 2 more divisions next week, and I'm actually going to break down all of the third preseason games, so that's a little caveat to remember as well. So I look forward to talking to you in the future, man. Take care of yourself. Thanks for chiming in.
All right, you too. See ya.
Appreciate it. All right, so back to Twitter we go, and I'm gonna jump on this here YouTube discussion and see if you guys got some some things you want to say in a second. I'm going to jump on Twitter once more, knock out some of these tweets, and then I'm going to jump back on YouTube and see if you guys have anything to say over here. But let's go to Twitter because I got some heat on Twitter. Before I could even get to it, we'll get back to Twitter. Got a call, going to go ahead and take it. You are on live with Louie Tee Live. Who am I speaking with?
This is me, Smoke.
All right, I gotta have you turn it up, man. Everybody been great with the audio. Need you to turn it up. I don't know if your phone can get any louder than it is, but I need you to speak. Either you got to speak louder or you got to speak. Say that again.
Is it better now?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
All right. What's up, Lou?
What's going on, man? Who am I speaking with?
Oh, it's Smoke.
Okay, what's up, Smoke?
What's up,
What's going on, baby?
Pop in this one. Man, I missed your whole live stream yesterday because we closed up at like 10-something yesterday.
Oh, man, it's all good, man. Just hit me on the playback, man. It's all good, but hey, I'm glad you were able to join me today, and that's what's most important, man. You here now, so we gonna take care. We gonna cherish this now, Smoke. Now.
Oh yeah, I was sitting on this one all day.
Word? You were sitting on this one all day, so you must have a gem to drop on our melon then. Talk to me about the NFC North, man.
Oh, all right. Well, wait. What do you want me to start first?
Hey, I want you to tell me: is this the best division in the NFC? Yes or no?
Best division
in the NFC is this?
Okay, so when you say best division, you mean talent or best competitive?
I'm talking about the teams in this division, competitive wise. You can rank them and rate them the way you want. If you go off of talent, that's on you. If you go off of competitiveness, I don't care. It's your ranking. I can't tell you how to rank the teams or how you rank these divisions. But which one is the best division in the NFC? This one, I think it's a two-man race, a two division race between this one and the NFC West.
Yeah.
Which one is better in your mind?
North.
Okay. So you're taking the NFC North?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this division. Who's going to win the division? I know you don't do records, so talk to me about the winner of this division and give me the order of this division and how it shakes out.
Honestly, it can go either way. I could see the Packers winning because they've won it. Because, they have a track record of winning it in the past. Mm-hmm. But I can also see the Vikings winning because they do have, like you said, they do have a very good defense, and they do have AP, one of the best we've ever seen. Mm-hmm. So, honestly, it's between those two. I have to flip a coin, but I'm just gonna say Packers. I'm just gonna say Packers. Okay. They have the track record, Aaron Rodgers. They have all those weapons. But I would not be surprised if the Vikings won it, though. I would not be surprised at all.
I hear you on that. I'm just glad you didn't pick any, mini, miny, mo this time. So I'm just happy about that.
I was about to
Don't do that to us. Don't do that to us tonight. All right. So you got the Packers winning the division. Are the Vikings making the playoffs? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Vikings still coming in second, but they still making the postseason. Who's coming in third in this division? Bears. I think they're going to make a vast improvement. I just don't know if it's actually going to show up on the scoreboard or not with wins and losses. But this is a better roster than it was last year. That is for sure. So you got the Lions bringing up the rear in this division.
Of course. Yes, I do.
All right. List the quarterbacks in this division for me.
Aaron Rodgers, number one. He's spectacular. Number two, this is where it just gets jumbled up here.
Yeah, this is where it gets dicey, man. If I didn't think it was a real discussion, I would have flipped it up on you.
Honestly, number two, I'll take Bridgewater over Matthew Stafford and Jay Cutler. I know what those two guys are. They're frauds. I'm not taking. Give me Bridgewater over those two frauds.
I don't know if Matthew Stafford is quite a fraud yet.
Drew, come on, man. Come on. We've been having the same conversation. Is Matthew Stafford going to take the extra step? No,
I
he's
can't.
not. We're
I
not
can't
I'm putting it
call
to
Matthew Stafford a fraud. Smoke. I can't do it. Not yet. I still think Matthew Stafford. Huh?
Let me do it in the live stream right now. For anybody, any talking heads, anybody in the comment section, we're not having this debate. Is Matthew Stafford going to take the next step? No, he's never going to take the next step. So just get on and get ready to draft the next quarterback.
Hey, look, I'm still not sold that Matthew Stafford can't lead a team, not necessarily to a Super Bowl, but lead a team to the playoffs and be ultra competitive in the postseason. I think he can do that, man. Now, I know who Jay Cutler is. Seen that movie before. Don't want to watch it again. Know how that movie ends, okay? But Stafford, I still look at him and I'm like, they robbed him 2 years ago against the Cowboys. They should have won that game. It was a poor call, that no pass interference. Who knows what happens if they win that game? They probably lose the next week. Who knows? Because I think they would have had to go to Green Bay or whatever. But in any event, I think Matthew Stafford is a little bit better than we give him credit for. I think I don't want to say he's underrated because he makes a lot of mistakes. But that offensive line was horrible last year. They could protect him. I think you're going to see a guy that really has a command of that team and that offense this season, because I think Stafford is better than we give him credit. But, hey, man, pleasure talking to you, Smoke. As always, man, continue to support, continue to hold it down, man. Look forward to talking to you in the future. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to talking to you next time, Smoke. Your division is next, so I definitely expect to hear from you.
Oh, mine's next? Really?
Tuesday, AFC South, baby.
That's my first day of school. That's my first day of college. That's cool.
Okay, awesome, man. Hopefully that goes well, and you can chop it up with me that night.
Oh, most definitely. I'm taking that day off already. I already got it off.
Sounds good, man. Take care.
All right, you too, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Back to Twitter we go. At GrayZ227 says, NFC North standings. Packers 13-3. Vikings 10-6, good enough for a wild card. Bears 7-9 in third, and the Lions bring up the rear at 5-11. Can somebody please tell me why everyone thinks the Lions are going to be terrible this season? I need somebody to call in and tell me why, because I just don't understand why. I just don't know why. I think they're better than what everybody else thinks, I guess. You're on live with Louie Tee Live. Who am I speaking with?
You're with Colton.
What's going on, Colton?
Green Bay is going to win the division. It's not even I agree with you 100%. 14-2.
Okay.
And the only two teams that they might lose to is Seattle, and then I don't know about Minnesota and their new crib. I don't know. It's a toss-up. And then number 2, it's gonna be Minnesota, but I'm going 11-5.
Okay.
And the Lions, I'm going third with I'm saying they go 7-9.
Right.
And then the Bears going 5-11.
Okay. So you basically mirrored what I put. You had the Bears one game less than me. I had them at 6-10, but you drinking the Packer punch as well, man. Hey, cheers. 14-2.
Yeah.
We drink it from the same bottle, I guess. But I look at this division. I think the Packers are primed and poised for the teams that they're playing. I think they're primed and poised to really eat up their schedule. Vikings, I think they're going to have a similar result, 11-5. Do you think that this is a better division than the NFC West when you compare the two?
I guess, yeah, because, I mean, Packers-Bears is going to be a good game. You know that Arizona's going to blow out the 49ers. So, I mean...
I think top to bottom, I think this division is just better. I just look at it, I think it's better. Rank the quarterbacks in this division for me.
All right, number 2, it's going to be Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
Number 3, Teddy Bridgewater. And number 4, Jay Cutler.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. I can't disagree with that. I think that's exactly how I have it set up right there. And I love the fact that you didn't even bother listing the first quarterback. It's not necessary. I appreciate that. That was awesome.
And then
I think Packers defense is underrated, honestly, because we got Mike Daniels. I know Clay Matthews and Julius Peppers are messed up with the PED stuff, but I think they're going to be fine. And we got Mike Daniels, Clay Matthews, Julius Peppers. And our secondary is going to be really good with Demarius Randall, Quentin Rollins, and Sam Shields.
Yep. I think people have been sleeping on the Packers defense, and they're going to start putting the pieces together. These young players are going to start getting better and better. And, Clinton Dix, we starting to see him come into his own. I just think they're all going to just start to put it together. I'd like to see more production out of the front seven. I wish they didn't have to blitz as much to get pressure on the quarterback. That being said, though, that secondary I think is going to be stellar. And I think with the front seven being dynamic in spurts, this could be a dangerous defense if they can start to put some things together. But I agree. I think this is a defense that I think is going to be a little bit better than people are expecting. That's part of that 14-2 record. You don't go 14-2 by just blowing teams out by scoring a bunch of points. You got to play some defense too. And I think the Packers are going to be able to do that in 2016 and possibly moving forward, man. Appreciate the call, Colton. I love talking to you. Great insight. Take care of yourself. Look forward to talking to you in the future, man.
All right, thank you.
No doubt. All right. Back to Twitter we go. Cutler, and this is at LER3AP3R. Cutler, he says, the second best quarterback in the NFC North. Criteria used must be solely based on raw ability and nothing else. I would have to agree with you, Brax, on that one. Cutler is not the second best quarterback in this division. Talent-wise, yeah, he's second best. But no, if you're talking from production and just the ability to get it done week in, week out, no way is he second. Got a call, gonna go ahead and take it. Oh, man, I guess they hung up. Gosh, that was from Michigan. So I think I was going to get somebody to defend the Lions, man. Damn it. If you're out there, call back. Please. All right, got a call. Going to take it. You are on live with Louie Tee Live. Who am I speaking with?
I'm speaking with AKA Protect Sports. What's going on, Lou?
What's going on, Protect?
Not much, man. Just catching your feet, catching your feet. You want to talk NFC North football?
Can you turn your phone up at all? Can you turn your phone up or talk closer into your
This iPhone sucks. This stupid volume.
Okay. Can you talk any closer into the phone?
Yeah. I'm talking as close as I can to the phone.
Okay. I'm going to try to hold you up to the speaker there, man, because you are awfully low.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you a lot better now.
Okay. Cool.
All right, so talk to me about this division, NFC North. First and foremost, is this division the best division in the NFC?
Yes, it definitely is.
Okay.
Only because I think that the NFC West, like the previous caller said, that is more top-heavy. You have two Super Bowl contenders, a decent team, and a garbage.
Yep.
I look at the NFC North, and you got. I don't think no team in this division will win less than 7 games. That's how I compare. I think it's the division.
Okay. And you know what? That's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. I will venture to say, not to the least faith on it, I think no team in the division is especially not done. I'm not going to do that. That's crazy. But I think this division probably has a lot more parity than the NFC. There's two teams that's going to go back and forth for it, and there's two teams that just stay.
Okay. All right. So talk to me about this division. Who's going to win it?
Well, I'm sipping this Packers Kool-Aid. I'm sipping that Packers Kool-Aid.
All right. So you drinking that juice too, man? That Packer Punch. You all over it, huh?
Hell yeah, I love it.
Hey, man. I'm passing a cup around, man. Just try not to get too drunk.
I'm pretty lit now. I think the Packers win the division, and I think we'll win it at 15-1.
Woo! Yeah. Oh, yeah. You definitely. Hey, give me the cup, man. Give me the cup back. I'm gonna go ahead and put that down, man. Don't take another sip.
And I will bet you tell you what team they're gonna lose to. It's a team that you're a fan of. That's their only loss. This team
reminds me a lot of offensively.
Uh-huh.
A lot like I don't want to compare to this team because this team did not win the Super Bowl. The only team that won 16-0 in our previous memory, I think you know the team I'm talking about. Offensively, it reminds me of that team. That 2017 team is going to score a lot of points. They're going to be explosive. Jordy Nelson, the top wide receiver in this league.
Right.
I like that in the pocket and comment to him. I don't need a slot guy. That's the only thing I'm worried about with the receiver for. I don't think he's going to need a slot for him. But Richard Rodgers came to his own last year.
Yep.
Might be a lot better. Eddie Lacy lost all that damn weight. He's going to get stuff together. He's going to run the daggone football. Bring an offensive balance to them. So that opens up a play-action game. And I think it is so explosive offensively when you going out to that and like, and one of the best young secondaries in the league too. Like Costin Diggs, Darius Randall, Sam Shields, like the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
The Clay Matthews and Jerry Jewish Featherstone, is what it is.
Well, they already agreed to talk to the league about the Al Jazeera thing, so they're not gonna get suspended.
Yeah. Well, that being said, I just think that they're gonna be the best in the NFC. I think they will probably. And my favorite team is our favorite team. I'm picking the Green Bay Packers. I'm sipping that Kool-Aid. It is what it is. I like this team a lot, and I'm really excited to watch these boys play this year.
Okay, so what you got the Vikings doing?
11-5.
Okay.
Same as last year. Same division record too. Oh, by the way, I think that the Packers will go undefeated in division play. By the way.
Okay, so you got them going 6-0 in the division.
I think the Packers, the Vikings will go 11-5 in division play. I like the way the team's constructed. The right line of defense is like I was pretty the same. Pretty good defense. Solid weapons on the outside. Quarterback being just a distributor and being careful with the football. And they got the best running back in football.
Indeed, they do.
Peterson.
That's right. Don't you forget it.
Yeah, it's deep. So you got all day behind that. That makes safeties can get better. Like as you said, I saw the tall cross approach started to become more accurate on the deep ball. Like, I remember they put a race for a couple years back. They off on the deep ball. Started to get better at that. I noticed. I think it's always going to be more explosive than those last year. You won't see the big leap. You're going to see the leap nonetheless. This will help that defense as well too. I understand that. So I think they're a 11-1 team. I look at the Lions, 8-8, at 7-9, something like that. I don't know the exact record. I say that 500, 4 in the division. I'm not really a fan of the team in its totality. I like their offense, except for the running game, of course. The running game is cute as hell, but other than that, I think Matthew Stafford can get into 500. I think that's as far as he can go. So the running game sucks. That defense is maybe a little suspect.
Right.
They're fine. You got the Bears at the rear 7-9. I think they won 7 games. It's still finished last. But I think that they will much more improved as a team, but it won't show in the stat sheet yet.
Yeah.
Because they're the quarterback.
Right. I agree with you there. Rank the quarterbacks in this division for me.
You're not the number one. Let's get number one.
Yep.
You know what it is. Number 2, Matthew Stafford. I feel Matthew Stafford a lot is a big arm with all his skill set. He has the knowledge of the game. He has a veteran leader. He has a veteran strength. He's shown that he can win games at this level on a consistent basis and can lead his team from that to win football games. So I'm not big on Matthew Stafford. Anyone else saying, hey man, Stafford's very good. He never get the next step. He's only in his 7th season. I come through that with the real. Still like trying to hit his prime. Like I don't get it. Next, Bridgewater, and then we know last. I'm getting my muffin. Trash. Yeah.
Hey man,
Yeah,
you a damn fool, man.
Shit comes a damn fool. Throwing interceptions. Give away championship games. You can't get the playoffs. Yeah.
Hey man, you a trip, man. Hey, I appreciate you chiming in, Protect, man. Take care of yourself, Tony. Looking forward to hearing from you. We on tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a Redskin wrap-up of the preseason game versus the Jets on Saturday. Look forward to hearing from you then, man. Take care.
Oh yeah, of course. You know we talk Jets football. You know what time it is.
All day, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. But yeah, some of that pack is too late. Go Pack.
Put the cup down, man. Put the cup down. Take care, man.
Take it easy, my dude.
All right. All right. Moving on. That guy said the Packers are going 15-1. I thought I was drunk. That dude is done, son. Put the cup down. All right. So we moving right along. My man Anthony dropped the tweet in the box. Appreciate it. Let's keep moving on. At GrayZ227, the Lions are going to be 5-11 because of the loss of Calvin Johnson will be felt. Also, their division is really tough. I get it. At Motor City Go Blue. Hey, bro, I need you to call back, man. Why you hang up? If you was going to say something about the Lions and talk to these people who are killing your boys, they need to hear from you, man. They need to hear from you. All right, so that's all the heat I got on Twitter. So now I'm going to take to the comment section and see what y'all over here talking about. If there's anything that y'all want read. And we going to see. Look like y'all just having y'all conversation. Let's see. Andrew Kim says, Vikings easily have the best secondary in this division. Huh? That's a good discussion. Harrison Smith, Xavier Rhodes, they added a couple of pieces, but they're rookies. I think that's where the Packers have a slight advantage. I'm not a Captain Munnerlyn guy. I think the Vikings, and they got Newman still hanging in there, a good veteran presence. Got a call, gonna take it. This one's from Michigan. I'm getting a little excited. You're on with Louie Tee. Who am I speaking with?
Yo.
What's going on, man? Who I'm talking to?
This Lions.
Lions fan. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, is your team garbage this year?
Negative.
Okay.
I have a hard time thinking anybody would say that.
Okay. All right. Do me a favor. Turn your device up or speak louder into it. And then I'm going to need you to inform all of these people that think the Lions are going 5-11, 6-10 this year. I need you to tell me why that is not the case.
Well, number one is for the fact that, he's Calvin Johnson. We're gonna miss him, but
Right.
we're being honest. A wide receiver core with Marvin Jones, Anquan Bolden, Golden Tate. Is it really all that awful for us to go 5-11? No.
Yeah.
Nah. And we still have Theo Riddick, who's one of the best receiving out of the backfield. Ebron still.
One of the most underrated pass-catching running backs out of the backfield is Theo Riddick Jr., folks. If you don't know, now you know.
Yep. Offensive line.
That's my question. Is the offensive line markedly better than it was last year? Because it was terrible last season.
Won't be significantly better, but I think it will help our running game because we got Decker.
Right.
He's a lot better mauler in the run game than he is in pass pro.
Is he going to be at left tackle? I think that's what I heard.
Yeah, he's a left tackle.
So that fixes two positions, essentially. Because Riley Reef kicks over the right, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that fixes two offensive line positions.
We took Graham Glasgow and Joe Dahl, all of them like the first 5 rounds. All 3 of them in the first 5 rounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Is Graham Glasgow starting?
No, he's second team.
Okay. Yeah. He might not be long before he see the field though.
Yeah.
Laken Tomlinson wasn't all that great last year. Then he got better as the year went along. I wonder if he's going to be much better this year.
Yeah, he got room for improvement.
Yeah. Okay, so Talk to me about this defense, because 2 years ago this defense was on fleek. Last year, no Ndamukong Suh, no Fairley, DeAndre Levy done for the year, and all of a sudden this defense goes to hell in a handbasket. Talk to me about why this defense is going to be much improved in 2016.
Our defense wasn't that bad, in my opinion, but
it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either.
Yeah, but I think but in my opinion, Suh's value to that team, to that 2014 team, is unquestionable. But Levy, you put Levy on last year's team, I think we're a lot better. That's my opinion.
Right.
What's the name? Our defensive line, I think, is going to be all right. We couldn't find it, but we had one good pass rusher, and his name is Ziggy Ansah. I'm sure everybody knows who he is.
Yes.
Because it seems like y'all acting like we don't got no pass rush. We have Haloti Nada. I think Haloti Nada is not really, well, he's washed, but I think he could still have impact on the game. I think that us getting Deshaun Robinson too, I think he's going to get a lot of playing time, and he gets stuff to run as well. So
right.
I think our defensive line is good. Also, our secondary, Darius Slay, he was one of the best, in my opinion, he was one of the best corners last year.
Yeah, he stepped his game up a lot last year, and the Lions just rewarded him with a new deal, so you know how they feel about it.
Yeah, Glover Quinn, I think he's pretty good. And yeah, I think our defense isn't like top tier, but I think it could be average.
Okay.
It could be very average.
So you said all of that. I wasn't one of the people that thought y'all were gonna be horrible this year. I think if the ball bounces your way, and you get a couple, and Matthew Stafford is able to keep the turnovers down, you're able to run the football better. Really, the offensive line, if it's just better, I think the offense in general will be better. You get DeAndre Levy back, maybe this team can be better than the 7-9 I put them at. What do you think is the ceiling for this team this year? What do you think they're gonna do this year?
Ceiling, I think we could win somewhere near 9 to 10 games.
Okay.
But like basement, like worst case, I think we could go 6-10, 5-11, but that's like basement. I don't think we're gonna be that bad. Just seeing how like the talent on this team, I don't think we're that bad to go
right
5-11, 6-10. But like, yeah, I think that's a realistic record for another team in this division, the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
But that's my opinion.
All right. So you got y'all finishing. So okay, perfect segue. Give me the records of every team in this division. Start at the bottom. Since you already talked about the Bears, you said you think they could realistically be 5-11, 6-10.
Well, I think the Bears are going to be 7-9, 6-10.
Okay.
Because and I know that the Bears are getting a lot of hype, but people don't realize how Adam Gase basically protected him last year. Cutler, you did not see like the decision making be that bad. Want to know why? Because he was throwing screen passes, he was dinking and dunking, he was throwing check down.
Yep.
He was doing that all over the field.
Yep.
And I think Alshon Jeffrey is a top tier wide receiver, but who else is really a target in this offense? Kevin White, yet to see him play. Eddie Royal, he can't stay healthy. Jeremy Langford, he's all right, but
I like Jeremy, man.
Yeah,
I think he is a low budget Matt Forte.
Liz lackluster receiving out of the backfield compared to Forte. He's not bad, but I don't think he's going to be on the level of Forte.
He's a low. I say he's a low budget Forte. I mean, I think he can catch it really well out of the backfield. They don't mind splitting him out like they used to do with Forte. Is he as dynamic out in space as Forte was? No, absolutely not. But I think he can get the job done. I think they feel like he can get the job done. They might do a whole little, running back by committee thing. Cycle him in and out.
Dean Carey.
Right.
Quiz Rogers.
Yeah. They just got stuff back there. They got a bunch of stuff.
Okay, then go to your defense. Okay,
they got good linebackers. I'll give them that. But have we really seen anything out of their secondary? Like, let's be real. Have we seen it? Are you confident? But you're a Redskins fan. I know they don't have. Well, they do. Well, now they do. But like, are you confident in your number 2 cornerback being Tracy Porter, starting cornerback?
Tracy Porter was once a Washington Redskin, and I'm here to tell you that I thought Tracy Porter was done when he left Washington. So to see him do what he did last year, hey, I'm not mad at him. If Tracy Porter's healthy, he's solid. He's not great. He doesn't move the needle for me, but you can do worse at your second corner than Tracy Porter. A healthy Tracy Porter, which they got last year. I didn't get the benefit of a healthy Tracy Porter. My Tracy Porter was all kinds of banged up.
Then you go over to safety.
Mm-hmm. They have been struggling at safety for years.
Adrian Amos, he showed flashes, but a lot of Bears fans think that he was like the next coming of like Harrison Smith or somebody.
Right. I like Adrian Amos. I think he has a chance to really be good, but I think he still got a long way to go.
Exactly. But what could make them, what I think a lot of Bears fans are saying, like, their front seven is really good for John Fox. Mm-hmm. So that could like hide like a lot of questions in their secondary. Like, say for instance, like our team in 2014, our secondary wasn't really that great, but we still had a dominant
front seven, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I love Vic Fangio too, so I think he's gonna get creative with these dudes.
That's spending the key on third down every game.
Okay, so you got the Bears at 7-9. You got the Lions at let's call it 9-7. All right. Green Bay, Vikings. Talk to me about the top 2 teams in this division. Who you got coming in second?
I think it could go either way, because, but I think the Vikings will be the second best. Basically, they have to play first place team.
Right.
Which is not a good look. So that'll be like 11-5, and I think Green Bay could be like anywhere from like 12-4 to 13-3.
Gotcha. All right. Yep. I think you're right about that first place schedule. That might be the difference between, Minnesota going 12-4, 13-3, and Green Bay going, 12. I got them going 14-2 actually, but yeah, that's gonna be tough.
I don't think the gap is really that big from Green Bay and Minnesota, but yeah, you could go either way with them this season.
All right. Talk to me. Last thing before I let you run. Quarterbacks in this division, rank them.
Rodgers has to be number 1.
Obviously.
Okay, now I go to Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
I really think he's getting disrespected. Like, bro, like, I know he's Calvin Johnson, but is he really that much worse than the other 2 quarterbacks in this division? Are you gonna tell me Jay Cutler's there? Nah. So I think Bridgewater is better than Cutler. I think Cutler is dead last.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that at all, man. Appreciate you chiming in. Love the insight. I needed a Lions fan to call in and explain why this Lions team is not a 5-11 team. I think a lot of things have to go wrong for them to go 5-11. I just don't see that happening. I think they're a much better football team than that this year. Appreciate you chiming in, man. Take care. All right, I hope y'all heard that. Phone was a little low. Tried to, make that audio a little louder, putting it up closer to the speaker. But you needed that. I needed that insight from a Lions fan, because you guys have been killing the Lions fans, the Lions tonight on the stream, and I just don't know why. And I had at GrayZ227 say they're going to be 5-11 because no Calvin Johnson, and the division is tough. But I think the Lions are good enough to hang tough. Let's go back to social media. See what you guys have to say. You guys are having a nice little discussion out there. Let's see. Not much is being said in terms of directing your comments to me. A lot of comments are in the comment section amongst yourselves, which I love. Y'all keep it going. And I'm gonna try to see if there's anything down here. Gotta call him and take it. Let me see. All right, I see something with my name attached to it. So I'm gonna get at that after I answer this call. You're on live with Louie Tee Live. Who am I speaking with?
It's Nick, bro. What's good, Lou?
What's going on? Nick at Night, everybody. Showtime! What's going on?
Not much. I was at work earlier. I was hyped for this video. You know, my boy, we about to win the division. I'm letting you know that real quick.
Okay. Hey, I'm all about it. And I want you to, break this thing on down as only you can. But first and foremost, I need you to tell me, is this the best division in football? Or not in football, in the NFC. Is this the best division in NFC?
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, so it's the best division in the NFC. Is it the best division in football?
I would say in the whole NFL, but I think in the NFC, yeah.
Okay. All right. So talk to me about this division. Break it down. Tell me why your boys, the Minnesota Vikings, are going to win this division for the second year in a row, and tell me how they're going to do it.
I look at it this way. Like, if you look at it, we only gotten better. We didn't lose a lot of pieces. We added a bunch of pieces. Like, if you think about it, I'm not going to sit here and say that Bridgewater didn't throw the deep ball because I didn't know there's questions about him having the power to throw the deep ball, but I've seen him do it. I haven't seen him do it a lot in the NFL, but I'm going to give you a reason why. You sit here and you think about it, his O-line has 3 starters on the O-line injured. So he was pressured a lot. So that takes away time for you to take the shot down the field. You don't have time for the receiver to get down there to throw the shot. You feel me?
I feel you. Now, I got something to say about that, but continue. I'll let you finish talking first.
And now you look at it, we added Alex Boone, we added Andre Smith, we got 2 other guys coming back healthy. One of them retired, so still low, he retired. Mm-hmm. But I mean, honestly, to me, he was a walking holding machine. I didn't really like the whole at all. Okay. But so I feel like we can only get better now. And you only had your best receiver was a kid that was a rookie in Diggs, mm-hmm. and he had about, I want to say, 700 and something yards, and he didn't play the first couple games. He could have easily had 1,000. Right. Yeah, so I look at it this way: he's gonna have 1,000, and Treadwell might be right there with him, I think.
Oh wait, so you just turning this offense into an explosive juggernaut? That's what you're doing overnight.
I look at it this way. Look, you do load the box, we're gonna make you pay for it this year. I'm gonna tell you that.
Look, Adrian Peterson had the most carries and touches he ever had in his career last year. Okay, this is a run-first football team. They are not gonna ask Teddy Bridgewater to do too much. They got a formula. They like it. It works. I don't see them deviating from that. So
I don't know. I think Norv's gonna let him open up this year. Norv want him to open up, so I think Norv Turner is gonna let him move.
Look, if Norv had it his way, Norv would be throwing the football vertically all damn day. Mike Zimmer is like, hey, hold on now. We ain't doing that. So,
honestly, you want to know what's going to be something crazy for us? So that play action is going to be nice.
It should be. And that's why I've been so hard on Teddy about not hitting the deep ball, because when you got Adrian Peterson back there, your play action fake game should be stupid. Dumb stupid.
And you know who else? Like, people sleep on. They talk about the second best, the backup running backs in the NFC North. People sleep on Jarrett McKinnon. He's nice.
I call him the secret weapon for a reason, man. Shh. Don't tell nobody about Jarrett McKinnon.
He's the truth. I'm letting you know. He's a good reception back, too. He catches them back. He's like, Lou.
Hey, I love me some Jarrett McKinnon, man. All right, so you think the offense is going to be much improved? You think the defense is legit and is as good as you'll find in this division? So, what do you think the ultimate record is going to be for this Vikings team when it's all said and done?
At the worst or at the best, what I think we can do.
Say that again.
You telling me? I said at the best that our record could be, or the worst?
You tell me what you think their record is going to be overall. If you want to do ceiling and floor, knock yourself out.
All right, so I think what our record is going to be is 12. I think we're going to win 12.
Okay.
And what I think we could possibly win is 13.
Okay.
So I think at the worst, it's 10.
All right. So the ceiling for you is 13. The floor is 10, and in your mind, 12 is where it's going to be at.
Yeah.
Ultimately. Okay. All right. So you got your boys at 12-4 winning this division, correct?
Yes.
All right. Two-time NFC North champs. All right. So what is the Green Bay Packers, or excuse me, what are the Green Bay Packers going to do in this division in 2016?
They obviously going to come in second. Their defense is kind of slept on too. I hate the Packers for the passion, but their defense is no joke. But honestly, I'm going to sit here and tell you, opposite of Aaron Rodgers, our offense is better than their offense.
You said other than Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, our offense.
But Aaron Rodgers makes their offense 10 times better than your offense because he's Aaron Rodgers.
I hear you on that, but I'm saying like player-wise, our offense is better than theirs besides Aaron Rodgers.
Well, the difference between their offense and yours is that their skill guys are proven and yours aren't yet. So I think your tight end is better than their tight end. Your running back is way better than their running back.
I think our receiving core is better than the receiving core too.
Not yet. Not till your dudes start producing. You got one dude. You got one guy that had a really good year last year in Swag Dizzle.
You know who else is pretty decent that people sleep on too? Our slot receiver,
Jerry's Wright is good. Yeah. I like Jerry's Wright.
Yeah.
But he's not better than Randall Cobb, who's the Green Bay Packers slot wide receiver.
Nah.
Okay. So again, the Packers have guys that are established. Your guys are still trying to catch up. And
I hear you on that. That makes sense.
If they go out and ball this year, like you say they are, then you'll be right there with them. But you still got Teddy B at quarterback, man. And like I said,
to be honest, though, here's my thing with Teddy B. Obviously he's not the best quarterback, but he ain't the worst either. He's gonna be a caretaker, man. He's a game manager to me.
Yeah. And a damn good one too.
And where people knock him a lot, he got a lot of 2-minute drives. He came back and won games last year, so they can knock him all they want, but just not say otherwise. Where in the last 2 minutes, he came down and won a couple games, and that's what I saw. So I don't care what people say.
If you're getting it done in crunch time, that's all that really matters to me. That's why I'm a Joe Flacco dude. I keep trying to tell people always want to know, why do I love Joe Flacco? Why do I have such a affinity for Joe Flacco? It's because when the game's on the line, Joe Flacco was like, hey man, hand me the ball, move out the way, I got this, man. Watch out.
Yeah. But like, if you look at it again in the playoff game, when we had to go down the field right there to set up that field goal, he played good on that drive. He hit Kyle Rudolph for that like 36-yard pass to set up that field goal right there. You give him a couple more, you gave him like another 30 seconds, he probably might have got it in the end zone. So
I know he was clutch, man. And like you said, as good as he was there, I also seen Teddy do some real questionable stuff. Now, I've seen a left-handed interception from this dude before, man.
You don't have to tell me when we played Denver, we was on our way to win that game, his dumbass held the ball in the pocket for like a good minute and fumbled that shit.
Yeah, hey, look, so for all the good that Teddy does, still a young dude, still, got some young-minded tendencies there that he's got to clean up, but I like Teddy, man. I like Teddy B a lot. So, all right. So you got the Vikings winning at 12 and 4. What do you got the Packers doing?
I think they win 10.
So they're a 10-6 ball club. Is that good enough to get in the postseason?
Yeah.
Okay. So they get in at 10-6. Who's in third in this division?
I got the Lions.
Got the Lions. At what?
Yeah. I'm gonna say maybe 8-8.
8-8. Bears.
Yeah.
The Bears.
Honestly, I don't know, man. Jay Cutler's a bum, but I say maybe 5 wins.
Okay, I'm not even mad at that because Jay Cutler, he off his leash now, man. I thought that.
And you don't even know what Kevin White's gonna be yet. But me, I thought he was overrated coming out of college. So
I was actually a Kevin White dude, so I can't agree with you there.
I was all about that Amari Cooper. Besides them drop pass.
Yeah. But no more Adam Gase means Jay Cutler's off his leash again, man. Back to wilding out, I think. We're going to find out. Adam did a good job of keeping him on that leash and making sure that he was on his best behavior. But Adam went to Miami and took his leash with him. So I think Jay Cutler just running around wild now. So we're going to see. But, hey, man. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Trey Wayne's going to step up this year, too. I think Wayne's going to be pretty good this year. He struggled learning the system, but towards the end of the year, he started to play pretty damn good.
I never was a Trey Wayne's dude.
I wasn't either.
I'm still not. So he's got to prove it to me. I do love X-Man though, and I thought he showed up big last year, especially against Green Bay in Week 17. X-Man was the truth in that game.
That's why I say people are not corners for not picking the ball, but it's like McKenzie. If you're batting that shit away, that's all I need. Anyway, denying the receiver of the ball, that's what I care about. Yeah. I don't care if you don't get the interception, as long as the receiver don't get the ball.
Yeah, you got a lot of dudes that's doing that.
and we know that boy Harrison.
Oh, here you go. I knew it was coming. I was waiting on it. I said, look.
But, people in the chat had me a little bit mad talking about top 5. The boy top 2 to me.
Hey, I said, man, I done threw the fastball down the middle a couple of times. One of these times, he going to tee it up. There it is.
Yeah. It's his first career interception. He brought that one back for 31 yards to the house.
I knew it was coming, man. I think you're going to be right, though. Eventually, he's going to end up starting.
What happened?
I said eventually, he's going to end up starting.
Who?
J-Ron Curse.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about Harrison Smith for a little bit, but yeah.
Oh. Thought you was talking about Curse.
Nah, his first pick that sealed the game in the preseason game. He just picked it off.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. I saw him and Mackenzie Alexander picks.
Yeah, Mac almost had a pick today, too, off a tip pass.
Yeah, I'm surprised as many of y'all joined me because I was saying at the top of the show, I didn't expect a lot of guys to show up because I didn't know your whole division actually was playing a game tonight. Every single team in the NFC North played in a preseason game tonight. So I was like, man, I picked the worst day to break this division down. Every single team in the division got a preseason game tonight. But y'all still turned out, man, so I appreciate that.
Of course, bro. You already know.
Really do, man. But good looking out, Nick, man. Appreciate you chiming in, as always. Appreciate all the support. Keep chiming in on the show. And as always, take care of yourself. Look forward to hearing from you in the future. Nick at night, everybody. Showtime!
One more thing before I go real quick.
Sound good, man. Talk to me.
You know that game against when we play your boys this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to that game.
Hey, man, I'm glad you're going. Get ready to be disappointed.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
Get ready to be disappointed, man. We're going to be hot. By that time you run into us, we're going to be hot like fire.
Then we'll have to throw some water on you.
The bucket is empty. The bucket is empty. Hey, man, take care of yourself, man.
You too, Lou.
Appreciate it, Nick.
All right, bro.
Be easy. All right. Back to social media. All right. I had a comment lined up, and it's gone. Here it is. Anwar Muhammad says, also, Harrison Smith is a top 5 safety. He's a game changer, and he's the best safety in the division. Let me ponder that for a second. Yes, he is the best safety in this division when healthy. But Harrison Smith will get injured on your behind quick, fast, and in a hurry. But yes, he'll come, bring the lumber. He's a guy that will pick you off. More athletic than people give him credit for. I'd agree with that. I don't have a problem with that statement. Let's see now. I just went past the comment. Here it is. Brian Emerson says, if we put the Packers, Vikings, Cardinals, and Seahawks all in the same division, who wins that division? That'd be tricky. I probably would still go with the Packers. Here's why. Because they got Aaron Rodgers. That's why. If you put those 4 teams in that division, we saw Aaron Rodgers play that division last year. He beat Seattle. Got smoked by the Cardinals, then came back and almost did those boys with a less than stellar cast. I'm not saying, I'm just saying A-Rod is the truth, man. I'd probably go with them. Those boys. But got a call, gonna take it. You're on live with Louie Tee Live. Who am I speaking with?
What's up, Louis? Mohammed, how are you?
What's going on, man?
Not much, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for asking. Talk to me about this division. NFC North.
So, usually I do research on the division before I call in or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just got back from work and I'm actually tired, so I'm just going to do this kind of blindly.
Okay.
So, I have no idea what the schedules are or anything.
Right.
I'm just going to go and tell basically what I'm going to do it off that. So what I have first.
Hello?
Hello, yeah, what's up, Lou? Okay. So what I have first is I have the Packers going for first place.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers. Yep, that's like Aaron Rodgers. He's got his targets back.
Yep.
The defense is pretty good too. So there's that.
Okay.
So next I have Minnesota. So I actually flipped the coin between the Minnesota and Green Bay. They're both really good teams.
Uh-huh.
Basically, they're both Super Bowl contenders, I think, personally.
Okay.
So, but it's one of those things. Green Bay's got the better quarterback, so I put him in top. That's
Okay. Makes sense.
my logic. So, there's that. Minnesota's still really good, though. Really good defense. Love the coach.
Yep.
There's that. So, third, I've got Detroit. Detroit is, with Detroit, I have, it's still a pretty good team, but they lost Megatron, and I think Megatron is going to hurt them.
Okay. I think that's going to hurt them a lot. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I still think the defense is pretty good, and then Matthew Stafford's is pretty good, too. So.
Yeah, I think he gets a bad rap. Yeah, he turns it over a little bit, but I think he's actually a really good quarterback. He does some silly stuff sometimes where you're like, come on, Matt, you're too old for that, but for the most part, man, I think Matthew Stafford is still a really good quarterback.
Yeah, like I would take him over I would take him over a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah, definitely. You can do a lot worse than Matthew Stafford. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. And then I got the Bears. The Bears are actually a pretty interesting team because they could make the playoffs too.
I don't know about that, but I agree with you. I think they are a rather interesting team because if they play to their full potential, maybe they could sneak in the back door of the postseason at like 10-6. But Jay Cutler off his leash, no Adam Gase. I just think he's going to revert to being the old Jay Cutler, just slinging it, throwing picks all over the place.
That's why I'm going to last. I honestly think they're a year away from being a playoff team.
The Bears?
Yeah.
I'm a huge.
Got to fix the quarterback situation.
Yeah, I'm a huge John Fox guy, but I'm not sure about Jay Cutler, man. I'm not. Let me say that. I'm not sure. I know I'm not sure about Jay Cutler.
Yeah. So that's the biggest problem. I have Jay Cutler. In fact, they also got to find a way to keep Alshon Jeffrey.
I think they will.
If they lose Alshon Jeffrey, they're not going to make the playoffs next year. So.
He's got to stay healthy, and that's part of the reason why I don't think they want to pay him, is because he's got to stay healthy. He's got to prove he can stay healthy, and he hasn't been able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the Packers winning the division, Vikings coming in second, Lions in third, Bears are coming in last, bringing up the rear, but you are very intrigued by the Bears in 2016. Okay, rank the quarterbacks in this division.
So, Rodgers 1, Stafford 2, Bridgewater 3, and the Cutler last.
What'd you say?
And I'm not from Petty. I really do like Petty, but he's just a game manager, so.
Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've been talking to fans about that all day today. That he is what he is. I don't have a problem with him being a game manager, a guy that is going to be a caretaker of your offense and your football team. He's not going to make a bunch of bad mistakes. He's not going to be flashy. He's not going to be the guy that's going to go out and sling it for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns and no picks. But he'll steady the ship. He'll run your team, and he'll give you a chance to win with that defense, with the running game that they have. I think he is the perfect quarterback for that football team.
So when do you think AP's going to slow down?
What you say?
When do you think AP's going to slow down?
Well, he said he thinks he could play another 4 or 5 years if he wanted to try to break Emmitt Smith's record. But he already said that the mental grind and the off-season grind of training camp, OTAs, all that stuff, he's not a fan of that. And that's what you hear with a lot of these guys that are Hall of Famers that feel like they can play a number of years. But it's the mental grind. That was the thing that got Brett Favre. Like, Brett just wanted to show up on Sundays and play. All of that meeting room stuff and the off-season OTA, all of that stuff, you can keep that. That Kurt Warner said the same thing. Like, he felt like he could have still played at the end of his career. He just mentally, he wasn't into it. And Adrian Peterson is starting to say that now. Like, look, man, I think I could play another 4 years. You know, possibly even break Emmitt Smith's all-time rushing record. But I just don't know if it's in me because I can't go through that grind every year of OTAs, mini camps, you know, training camp. I'm not built for that anymore. So it'll be intriguing to see how long he's able to last because he's already basically said that, you know, it's starting to wear on him now, you know, and as you get a little older, it's the little things that make a difference. And I think he's starting to mentally wear down. And so I could see 2 more years out of him maybe. But physically, I haven't seen a drop-off yet. So
yeah.
I would still be inclined to think he could play another 3 years or so. But, you know, at the running back position, it can happen overnight. I've seen dudes that look like a beast one year, and the next year you're like, wow, what happened to that guy? You're like, damn, homie. Just last year you was the man, homie. What the hell happened to you? So we'll see. But appreciate the call, man. Thanks for chiming in. Look forward to talking to you in the future. Take care, man.
You too. Bye.
Appreciate it. All right. So, got some more comments. I see you talking about me out there too, Blackbird, man. If you don't want me to, I won't use the F word anymore, man. I won't drop that anymore, man. I can't get my little fleek on. All right, that's fine, man. I won't say it no more, man. Y'all stupid, man. All right, Anwar Muhammad. I just read that comment, so that's where I was. I got a lot of comments in here, so I'm going to try to knock them out. Hunter Wells says, Joshua Perry or Scooby Wright, I'm high on both of them. I wasn't a huge Joshua Perry guy. I am not a Scooby Wright guy, so I would go with Joshua Perry because of the measurables and the athleticism. Scooby Wright is more of a football player, more instinctive, not as athletic, of course, but high football IQ, a guy that can find a football. There's a place in the league for a guy like Scooby Wright. I just don't know if he is a viable candidate or not to start. We'll see. With Joshua Perry, I want to see him be more instinctive. I want to see him use that athleticism a little bit more. Joshua Perry, for me, would be the guy that I would go with over, if I had to pick those two, just because of the sheer size and the measurables with that guy, and, of course, the athleticism. I'd always take the height, weight, speed guy 9 times out of 10. Ricky Levensailor says, he's a homer, he's lost. I don't know who you're talking about, but I'm going to keep it moving. That sounds like a comment for the chat room. I'll keep it moving. Y'all guys funny. I know that. I do know that. Brian Emerson said, okay, we already read that. If you put everybody in the division, I will go with the Packers still, even though I think it would be a hell of a division. I think the Vikings would actually come in last in that division, believe it or not. I would rank that division. I would go Packers 1. I think I might take, and it's crazy because in their division I took the Cardinals, but if this were a division, I think I would take Seattle, then I would take Arizona, and then I would have Minnesota in last. Anwar Muhammad says, yeah, Jordy is the best receiver in the division. I think Alshon second, Marvin Jones third. Marvin just got here, and you already put that man at third. I'm looking at the division, and no, he's not ahead of Golden Tate, man. Stop your nonsense, Anwar. He's not ahead of Golden Tate. Golden Tate is better than Marvin Jones. He's not even the best receiver on his team. Stop. Let's keep it moving. Let's see. Hunte Wells says, the Packers should have drafted Ragland even if he is hurt over Kenny Clark. I was not a Kenny Clark dude. Y'all know how I felt about Kenny. I told y'all I wasn't a Kenny Clark dude. I wasn't then. I'm still not. We'll see if Kenny Clark turns out to be a really good pick. They generally don't miss. Ted Thompson does a really good job. So I'm going to side on the air of caution there and go with what he decided to do and say that he knows what he's doing. But I was not a huge fan of the Kenny Clark selection. And you saw my reaction on draft night if you watched my live draft feed. So, all right. I got one more comment here. And we're past the 11:30 hour, so if I don't have any more calls, and I'm going to go to Twitter and see if I got anything there. All right, let's see. Brian Emerson says, give us a bold prediction for the NFC North. My bold prediction for this division, 14-2 is not bold enough for y'all for the Packers? All right, if you want another nugget, I'm gonna throw y'all another nugget, man. In this division, I think. See, it's hard for me to give y'all something bold, man, because I've already told you what I think the records are gonna be, so I don't want to contradict myself. 14-2, that's not bold enough for y'all, for the Packers. Who's doing that? Who's going 14-2? That's tough to do in this league. And I told you the Packers are going 14-2. I think that's pretty bold to me. We'll see. I don't have a nugget for y'all. I don't have anything to throw out there. I'm a John Fox dude, but I still think Jay Cutler's gonna hold him back. I like the Lions, but I'm not in love with them. So I don't know if I got anything to really say there. Anwar Muhammad says, "Oh, I forgot about Golden Tate. He's third," and he started laughing. Yes, I'm pretty sure you did, because he's not better than Marvin. Marvin Jones is not better than him. Yeah, it's easy to forget because he was overshadowed by Megatron, but Megatron's no longer there. Golden Tate is your de facto number one wide receiver in Detroit now. So Nick Riley says, what I was trying to say, bro, was we have the most deep wide receiver group more than any other team in the division. It's deep. I will grant you that. But the Packers, come on, man. Who's deeper than the Packers, though? You are on live with Louie Tee Live. Who am I speaking with?
Brian again.
What's going on, B.E.?
I can give you a bold prediction. Actually, I can give you a few.
Go ahead.
Adrian Peterson breaks the single-season rushing record. Aaron Rodgers breaks the single-season passing record.
Okay.
And another one. The Vikings become the number one scoring defense for the least points allowed.
Okay. I give you a bold prediction. 2 out of those 3 things are not happening.
Probably the Vikings and Aaron Rodgers.
It would be Adrian Peterson. He's not breaking the rushing record. I think his best opportunity came and went. He's not going to do that. Aaron Rodgers breaking the record, not going to happen. I don't even think this is his best offense. He's been on some dynamic, explosive offenses. Not even sure if that's what this is. It's just that he's that good, and I think he's got some good players around him. We'll see. But the Vikings being the having the number one scoring defense, that is definitely within the realm of possibility. And being that they play the NFC East and the AFC South, they might really lock some teams up, man, and have some, 23 to 6 wins. I could easily see them having the best scoring defense in the league. That is definitely bold, but yet refreshing, and I like it. Good one, B.E.
It's bold.
It's definitely bold. All 3 of them were bold, But I think that's the most realistic one that could come to fruition.
Yeah.
Appreciate you chiming in, man.
Okay.
Have a good one. Take care.
You too.
Appreciate it. All right. Let's see. Colton Campbell says, who is Green Bay's wide receiver number 3? If they had it their way, their third wide receiver would be Randall Cobb. But because last year, the number 2 receiver took a step back, because everybody got bumped up last year because of the injury to Jordy Nelson. And one of the most disappointing receivers last year was, I forgot his name. It'll come to me. Give me a second. But he showed up big in the Cowboys playoff game the year prior. Everybody got excited about him, and it was like, oh, this is going to be a breakout year. And then when Jordy went down, everybody said, well, he's going to step up. I was one of those people. I stood up on the table and said, hey, you still good in Green Bay because you got fill in the blank. And Adams. His name is Adams. Can't remember his first name, but his last name is Adams. And he stepped up, and he was huge in that playoff game against the Cowboys 2 years ago. And he fell flat on his face last year. Dealt with some injuries, but his main issue was drops. He was inconsistent last year. If they had it their way, he'd be the number 2 guy behind Nelson, and Cobb would be the slot guy that would win. But I think Randall Cobb is still their second best option at receiver because Adams couldn't get his act together last year. But you see the depth that Green Bay has. You saw Jeff Janis step up. They got Jared Abadaris. They got stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff. Ty Montgomery is another option in Green Bay that was injured last year, that if he comes back healthy, it's just so much stuff in Green Bay that I don't even know if there's enough balls to go around. There's so much stuff out there. So Green Bay is extremely deep. Like I said, Adams was disappointing last year. Maybe he has a bounce back year because Jordy is back and everybody goes back into their proper slots. I think the assumption was he was going to take over and be the guy last year, and he wasn't ready for that. And I think that was really disappointing. All righty. And so we will move right along. See if there's anything on Twitter. I don't think there is, and there's not. So I will go and see how many more comments I had. Devontae Adams. There you go. Devontae Adams is his damn name. I couldn't think of his first name. I had his last name. Devontae Adams is the receiver. Thank you all out there who commented and told me what his name was. Let's see. Oh, man. Stop doing it. All right. SKRTHD says, who is winning the NFC? Guess he's talking about conference. As a whole, it's Green Bay at 14-2. I've got one division left in the NFC, and I'm here to tell you NFC East is left, and I'm here to tell you nobody's finishing better than 14-2. I've broken down all the other divisions. Nobody had a better record than the Packers, who I have at 14-2. So there you have it. All right. Keep reading your comments. Let's see what we got. All right. Let's see. Brian Emerson says, Vikings up 11-0 versus the Seahawks at halftime. Preseason is preseason, though. I don't get too wrapped up into that stuff. I'll be more interested in what's going on next week than I am this week. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I know Jeff Janis got hurt. He hurt his hand. He'll be back, though. Colton Campbell says, we finally got a threat at tight end in Jared Cook. I'm intrigued by Jared Cook. I think he could be a Jermichael Finley for this offense. They've been lacking there. And, Richard Rodgers wasn't bad last year. He's just not athletically gifted. He's a big guy. Solid hands. We saw that last year. Reliable hands. But he's not an athletic freak. Jared Cook is an athletic freak. Jared Cook also has trouble with his hands sometimes. And he will fumble the football. So that's something to look out for. But if you're talking about a guy that can get the football, can win, can make some plays out in space, Jared Cook is that guy. And playing with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, who's going to throw him open, and if he's open, who's going to lead him and allow him to separate from defenders Jared Cook could have a huge season in Green Bay. Anwar Muhammad says, Jared Cook is an average tight end. His hands are suspect. He's not particularly a good blocker. No, he's not a great blocker. They're not going to ask him to do that in Green Bay. They're going to ask him to catch the football and be effective in the passing game. Yes, his hands are suspect sometimes, but Jared Cook is an athletic gift. And if he is able to use those athletic exploits to get open, trust and believe, Aaron Rodgers is going to put the football on him, and he's going to make some plays in that offense. SKRT HD says, Super Bowl 51 matchup. Right now, your too soon early Super Bowl prediction would be Green Bay versus Pittsburgh would be my early too soon guess at what's going to occur. We'll see what happens with the Steelers. All these suspensions, possibly some injuries, that could change very quickly. We will see. But right now, that's what I'm rolling with. All right. Let's see. I think that is it. We've reached the end. It's 11:50. No more calls. I don't have any more heat on Twitter. Nothing else on the YouTube chat. So that's going to do it for me here on this Louie Tee Live edition, the final one of this week. I will be live on Saturday breaking down the Redskins' second preseason game. For those of you who are Redskins fans, I will see you then. If you're not a Redskins fan, you want to join me anyway, feel free to come out and support. Either way, I will see you next week, Tuesday, 9:30. I will be back in this seat once again, Louie Tee Live, breaking down another division, this time the AFC South, a much improved division. And I think a lot of people are high on Jacksonville. There's a lot of people that aren't buying the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think it's going to make for great discussion. Are the Texans legit with Brock Osweiler and Lamar Miller as their 1-2 combination at running back and quarterback? That's another discussion to have. Are the Titans much improved? They're going to a power run game. Did you see what they did in preseason game number 1? They had the football. They ran it down the throats of, I forgot who they were playing, San Diego. They pounded the rock on San Diego. Are they a legit team in the AFC South? Much discussion. Andrew Luck, he's back. Are the Colts back? We'll talk about it. Should be a great discussion Tuesday, 9:30. I will see you then. Remember, we're changing the live feed game. We're changing the game, damn it. One live feed at a time. I'm your man, Louie Tee. Signing off. See you next time.